you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports.
They gonna take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
She got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops. I did it again. So that's right. Hello. Is this on?
Nope. Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
Now.
Sacramento, welcome to the program. It is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah, Double J behind the glass. We got you from now, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m., and we got a great show for you. Niners fans, I'm sure you're pumped up, getting ready for Thursday night football against the Giants. We have the one, the only Lincoln Kennedy, Chris, at the bottom of the hour at 10:30. Do not throw a snowball at him. He will jump up in the stands.
Yeah.
It didn't get quite the notoriety that the Malice at the Palace did, but Lincoln Kennedy did defend himself in Denver when Broncos fans got a little rowdy with him. So I always like to, give him a little stuff about that. You know what I mean? So we'll bring that up. But we'll actually talk some football with him. He's the Raider color commentator, also network analyst for Pac-12 Network. Back-to-back days.
I know, that's what I'm
Pac-12 guys on, just rubbing salt.
I know. Well, you got to get it, like you said yesterday. You got to get them in while the Pac-12 Network is still a thing.
Exactly. So, Also, I'm a Cali boy, so I know a lot of Cali people. It's not really my fault, and no one loves the Pac-12 more than me. Well, I guess the last two guests that we've had. I mean, I love it, so it's not like I'm basking in the glory of this. I'm not like somebody from New York who is finding any joy in this. I hate that it's going away. But we'll talk to Lincoln Kennedy at the bottom of the hour. You can always join the show, 916-339-1140. You can text at that same spot, 916-339-1140. Check us out on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports, all that good stuff coming up at 10:15. Wanted to pick your brain, Chris. This kind of just popped in my head.
Yeah.
It's Thursday night football, isolated game. If Niners fans either took a half day or just took the whole day off entirely, they have all day to tailgate. It's not like they never have 10 a.m. starts, but it's not even a 1 p.m. start, 5:15. And I kind of want to know how you feel about Levi versus Candlestick and how well, I should say, that you expect the Giants fans to travel. This might be a game where Niners fans maybe think that they got this in the bag, so maybe they sold their tickets to some New York transplants. So we'll talk about Levi's versus Candlestick and just what we expect the crowd to look like and more from this game. But let's start here. Is this just going to be? I'm like I said, I need an assistant, but I'm in the middle of sending out my tweet that I usually do. I usually schedule it for 10 a.m. But we got into whole celebrity birthdays and all that good stuff. But my question in my tweet is this going to be Niners in a cakewalk? And Chris, we talked a little bit pre-show. You tell me, is this going to be a laugher? I think we all want a good game, regardless if you're a Niners fan or not. But is this going to be something where it's over by halftime?
It might take longer than halftime for it to be over, but I don't think the Giants realistically stand a chance, especially without Saquon in the lineup. They're going to be relying heavily on Daniel Jones to make plays, and he sure did do it the second half of that Cardinals game, but this 49ers defense is just, it's too much. And there's no way, I shouldn't say there's no way, but I can't see Daniel Jones just carving up this defense with no run game or a minimal run game. It could be a Matt Breida revenge game, I guess, but I just don't foresee Daniel Jones carving up this secondary and running all throughout the field and all that he can definitely do. I just don't see it against this Niner team. I don't think that they can hold up with the scoring power either of this 49ers offense.
Yeah, for sure. 5-yard flag for knocking over
I almost knocked over the water, too.
Well, that's better that you didn't do that.
For me.
Yeah, for sure. We do throw out flags on this show. We hold ourselves accountable. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to not like about the Giants and a lot of stuff to like about the Niners going into this game. You've got guys that are out, specifically Saquon Barkley. You would think that one area, if they needed to set their offense up to kind of expose what I think is the weakest link for the Niners, which is you can kind of throw the ball on them.
Yeah.
But when you look at we'll get to the defensive side and the offensive side throughout the show. But specifically looking at the Niners offense versus this Giants defense, the Giants had a hard time with Connor.
Yes.
And the Cardinals.
And Josh Dobbs.
Yeah. And now we're dealing with CMC.
Yeah.
So if the Giants can hold up offensively, I could see it being a shootout and it being a decent game.
Sure.
But I could also see it being a lot like the Steelers game where you have Trent Williams rooting for the other team to get first down so they can catch more of a breather. I could see this being over quickly. A lot of it's going to have to do with because I don't think Purdy's going to have to do much.
Right.
And so it's really going to be like if the Giants are going to be going 3 and out like Pittsburgh did in week 1, it could be a laugher early.
I think it's going to be. I mean, let's think about the team that is closest resembled the 49ers, specifically in the NFC this season, has been the Dallas Cowboys. And
we know how much of a laugher that was.
What did Dallas do to Daniel Jones and the Giants? I mean, that was a blowout by halftime. And then, they didn't end up scoring at all. It was a complete shutout, 40-0. They get shut out the first half against the Cardinals. It's just really hard to imagine that this Giants offense is gonna start clicking right here, right now against maybe the best defense in the NFL or one of the best defenses in the NFL. And then, on the other side, you mentioned, they're going to struggle to slow down this 49ers offense, who we'll see if Brandon Ayuk's going. But again, we've talked all week about how the 49ers depth or their top end talent is their depth because of just how much talent they have up there. Like if Brandon Ayuk's not going tonight, well, Deebo Samuel's going to step up and have a major game. George Kittle, you'd assume, would have a big game. Juwan Jennings will step up. Christian McCaffrey, we've talked about yesterday. Elijah Mitchell might get some run as well. They just have so many different options they can go to, even if Ayuk is out, that it's just, man, I mean, this is the puzzle that is trying to figure out how to stop the Niners.
For sure. And you look at Bosa, obviously, with the contract holdout, then he signs the big fat deal. No sacks, which led to John Lynch, the GM of the Niners, having to point out that he does have a lot of hurries, but he's got to be licking his chops.
He's getting a sack tonight. I would almost guarantee it.
Giants O-line is banged up. They're going to be without Andrew Thomas. And
missing another lineman too, I know. Yeah.
Poor Evan Neal is going to, well, actually, there is a second one, but I didn't do the YouTube. How do you pronounce the name? And the name is so hard that I don't want to, we're going to get too fun in the 40s.
There's another guy who's missing on the line. That's what we'll say.
Yeah, we'll say that. Mad Dog totally botched a name that's not that difficult. Olave. In this instance, it is a really hard name. But yes, that's why I just said O-line banged up in general. But Andrew Thomas out. Andrew Thomas, I can say.
Yes.
And Evan Neal has struggled, and Bosa's going to be licking his chops. And you got to expect, despite the pressures, he's a man of pride. He's a guy, defensive player of the year. He knows he doesn't have any sacks, and this is a prime time for him to go off.
It's the home opener too. Something tells me he's going to want to, he's going to make a statement. It's Thursday night football.
Show out.
Everybody's watching. They're going to talk about how Bosa doesn't have a sack yet, and he held out during training camp. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if first series or if just maybe even the first play of the game is a Nick Bosa sack. I think he's going to get after it from the start. I think that they're going to set the tone from the beginning of the game that's how that game's going to go. It's just going to be pressure in Daniel Jones's face the entire night because they know without Saquon, it's going to be on Daniel Jones. And the way that you can really rattle Daniel Jones is by making him uncomfortable and getting pressure, which the 49ers are possibly the best at in the NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to try to make an argument for why the Giants would have a shot. But even my arguments for why they would have a shot are immediately shot down by counter arguments of why that's not going to happen.
Sure, so but you still give them out. Go ahead. It's okay. Because
Thursday night,
exactly.
Quick turnaround, right?
There you go. Yep.
Here's the problem. If the Giants win, they're going to win in a shootout. So an ugly game does not bode well for them.
Probably not.
I could go Daniel Jones second half. Now, they were outscored, I believe, 60-0 in the first 6 quarters because they got shut out by the Cowboys. That was 40-0. And then they were down 20-0 in halftime to the Cardinals. So I could say, well, the pass protection for Daniel Jones was solid in the second half, and he did something no quarterback had ever done when you combined what he did in the air and on the ground. But that's one of the strengths of the Niners, and you could say that they've underachieved, so that they're going to that's going to reach its medium, and they're probably going to do a lot better, and their O-line is banged up. So that's hard to do. And, I mean, just you go down the line of reasons why you could say, okay, for the Giants, they've kind of underachieved. They were pretty good last year on the defensive side. You could say that. But then you can go on the Niners side. It doesn't matter how they're going to go about doing it. CMC is going to be probably – and we talked about their struggles with Arizona's run offense, which is not like jump off the charts. It is not excellent. So, like, even when I try to, like, look at the possibilities for how the Giants could – possibly win. We were just talking with our boss. He's a Giants fan. He's going to the game, and I wanted to be like, why are you doing that to yourself? You know what I mean? Like, I'm one of those guys. It's not that I have to go to a game that's a guarantee, right? But as like a long-suffering A's fan, who they lost, I think, 7 elimination games, either wild card or game 5 in a game 5 series. I think twice when they were up 2-0 on the road. I'm going back to these hellacious memories from my childhood. But you walk away from the game, you paid a good coin, especially then. I didn't have the money to pay that good coin. And you go there, and I guess you go because the excitement would be worth the risk of the devastation. But all 7 of those times, because I went to all of them, maybe I should have stopped going. Maybe it was on me. It was you. But it's devastation. It's like, a lot bigger. Why exactly are you doing it? All right, join the program, will you? 916-339-1140. How do you expect Levi's to look tonight? How much different has Levi's been overall than Candlestick? The Bay Area has gone through a bunch of different stadium or arena changes, and what do you expect tonight? We'll get into that and much, much more. You're listening to Zakariah, Chris Watkins, right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. One of the big assignments for the A's front office going into the offseason will be how to set up the 40-man roster, especially when you consider the A's have used 61 players this year, including 40 pitchers and 21 rookies, the latest being the right-hander Joe Boyle, who fired 3 innings of shutout baseball, making his major league debut in the recent series against the Padres. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports alongside Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah. Coming up, bottom of the hour. Friend of mine, worked with him for years. Fantastic offensive lineman. Got so close. I will bring up the snowball fight, even though he doesn't like that, because he's a lover, not a fighter, Chris. Despite his massive size.
You keep pushing him on it, though. You might see. You might see he's going to flip it out.
But normally it's remote, so I'm at a safe distance. But I will not bring up the Super Bowl where they lost to the Bucks. But
shouldn't do that.
He should be a Super Bowl champion. Unfortunately, he didn't have the best. He had good old Billy Boy at the helm, and the Bucks. I'll never forget that. That's one of those we talked about. Remember where you were when?
Yes, yeah.
I remember where I was during that Super Bowl.
Yeah,
First of all, it was a snoozer. We ended up doing more partying than watching.
Yeah.
But I will never forget. I believe it was John Lynch walking off the field saying, "I know everything that they're running," and they did it in like slow mo.
Yeah.
I believe Madden was still called. I believe it was Madden and Summerall.
Yeah.
And he walked off the field, and you could read his lips saying, "I know everything that they're running," and then he just has a huge smile. This was after like whatever number pick it was, but it's like, Bill, you're going up against John Gruden.
Yeah,
he had this team last year, not 5 years ago. You didn't change anything,
not a single thing. Like
not even the names of the plays.
Nope.
Anyways, we will not bring that up with Lincoln, and hopefully he's not one of those guests that listens to the segment before, but we will talk to him about football, both college and pro. We'll do that at the bottom of the hour. But right now, I just wanted to get your thoughts. I don't know if you have been to both or either or none. I just kind of I like doing stuff more organically on air. I like throwing it out there, but then getting the actual answers to the questions while we're doing radio. I think it's more fun for the listener. But have you been to Candlestick or have you been to Levi's? Neither.
Been to both. I've not been to a football game at Levi's. I've been to multiple soccer games at Levi's.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Are you a soccer fan?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you see play?
I saw
the Quakes don't play there, right?
No. I saw US versus I can't remember who it was in the Gold Cup, and then I saw a random Chile versus Argentina game. And that was all the way up.
That must have been a lot of fun.
That was really fun. I can't remember if Messi played in that game.
The fan base is crazy.
Yeah, it was just.
What do you mean you can't remember? That's like saying you don't remember if Jordan played.
I would assume he didn't. I can't
you would have remembered.
Yeah,
for sure. Even if he had a bad game, you would have remembered. Yeah.
Might have even been Uruguay, not Argentina, but the same colors. So I vaguely remember that game because it was up in the 500s and I could barely see. So that was definitely the one thing that stuck out to me about Levi's most was just like, if you're up in that upper, like the top section of Levi's, especially on the sun side, man, good luck to you.
Yeah.
Because it's just brutal sitting up there baking and you feel like you're like on a roller coaster that's, at its peak height, but you're just never going down.
So I was doing full-time radio at the time, so I had a press pass there, and I went for the first ever game there. Technically, it was a preseason game. I believe it was Niners-Dallas. And, a lot of the backlash after that was people complaining that the fans weren't in the stands, specifically in that area where the sun was baking.
Yes.
And so people would just be in the lounges. I mean, it's a gorgeous facility, top-notch, best, bars, food, all that stuff. But that was one of the complaints. It's like, the fans ain't coming out because it's 2:30 p.m. On a Sunday and it's baking hot and it's right in the sun. So that was one of the complaints. Other than that, I feel like and obviously I went to Candlestick tons of times throughout my childhood, both for Giants games and Niners games. Actually, I went to the last game ever. It wasn't technically an official game. It was Dan Marino versus Joe Montana.
Oh, and like when
they
an
were in
old-timers
their
game
50s.
or something?
Yeah, for sure. I just went because my best friend's a hardcore Montana fan.
Yeah,
I loved Marino growing up. So we went, and it was fun. I mean, it was, these guys are like,
they're
in their 50s, 60s, whatever. But it was fun. Candlestick was a dump, but quote unquote, our dump, as people usually say about their bad stadiums.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been a huge fall off in terms of the home field advantage. I think Levi's gets very loud.
Oh, yeah, it gets loud, yeah.
It's easy when your team is good, and the Niners have had a lot of success, despite the down years with Jim Tomsula and Mike Nolan. Chip Kelly. But, Harbaugh and now this era with Shanahan, it's easy for it to feel like that. But I don't feel like there was a huge drop-off in terms of that, which I think the players appreciate for sure. And I think that there was a big carryover. A lot of people that are from the Bay, like the Bay, didn't like the fact that they were going to Santa Clara.
Right.
Because that's technically, because I've always seen it as like just Northern California.
Sure.
But like I've learned,
there's pockets. For sure.
Yeah, people in Sac think it's different than the Bay, and the Bay think it's different than and that's technically South Bay.
Yes.
So that's like San Jose, Santa Clara, stuff like that. So there were a lot of Bay Area people that weren't thrilled with the move down there.
Yeah.
But and especially with the Raiders now moving to Vegas, they're the only football team in town.
Yes.
And people eventually get over it and travel. Like, so how far was the move from Arco to
it's
Golden One?
10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. So not like a drastic drive.
No, nothing crazy. I mean, Natomas is it's probably it's like 3 stops. It's like 3 exits away from,
so not
from
a
where
huge
the current
deal.
arena is. No, it's not backbreaking for anybody.
Gotcha.
I don't think.
So depending on what part of San Francisco you reside in,
right?
Or if you're, a lot of my friends are in the East Bay that love the Niners, it's a pretty big trek. It's about an hour and a half, and that's assuming no traffic and stuff like that. But what do you expect tonight? Do you expect a rowdy crowd? I mean, 2-0 home opener.
Yeah.
Do you expect to see a lot of blue? A little bit of blue?
There might be scattered some. They're playing a New York team. And New York obviously is a big market. Yeah, for sure. So there's going to be scattered about. And, you mentioned our boss is going to be there. I don't know if
he'll be in blue.
Gear. I don't think so. Maybe
he doesn't strike me as a maybe. He will.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know people outside of the workplace.
Exactly. Very true. But I think that it's going to be packed. I mean, it's the home opener. Team's 2-0, feeling good. this could be the first game at home for this potential Super Bowl run. I think it's going to be huge. Thursday night football, the stage is really set. I think that it's going to be a huge opening for the Niners, and I think that the fans are going to have quite a bit to cheer about as well.
Yeah, and again, if you took a half day or the whole day off, it's going to be, they're going to be lathered.
You'll be ready. You'll be ready by 5 o'clock.
Yeah, for sure. I got to be honest, and listeners out there, please don't hate me. If I was a season ticket holder, this to me is the perfect sell spot.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would not. Okay, so I was kind of disappointed in the Pittsburgh fan.
Oh, yeah.
Because I saw a lot of red in Pittsburgh. See, that's not a spot for me to sell, even though Niners fans travel fantastically and you could probably get top dollar. I'm looking at that game because I'm hardcore in my fandom where they need me there. Yeah. So I'm not selling there. In this instance, I think it's a combination. This is where I would sell my tickets. And I wouldn't do it a ton, but I'd try to recoup some of my money from getting season tickets. This is a perfect combination of a team that travels well from a big market in New York. So you got to figure there's a lot of New York transplants out here. Also, not a very good team.
Right.
So I wouldn't feel bad about them losing a little bit of the, not that myself or whoever I went with would have that much of an influence, but to me, it's the perfect spot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're going to see a ton of blue, but if I was holding season tickets and I was representing, I think it's a good spot.
It's a Thursday game. So if you're a season ticket holder, it might be a little, it's disrupting your week a little bit.
That's true.
It's not a Sunday game or nothing like that. So I wouldn't
going to fly
in. Exactly. I wouldn't blame people if they want to sell it. But even then, I still don't think it would be a lot of Giants fans. I feel like, I just feel like the 49er fans are definitely going to show out. I mean, there's so many of them, especially in the area. Like there's no way that I think that it's going to be a sea of red.
As I scrape the bottom of the barrel, I'm going to do this. I think I'm just going to sprinkle this throughout the show. Ways that the Giants could possibly make this competitive.
Sure.
Is there anything to the fact that the Giants players and coaching staff remained on the West Coast as they were in Arizona? Quick turnaround now to Santa Clara.
Sure.
Is there a bonding factor, Chris? Big come from behind win. Had to have been a loud locker room.
Sure.
And you don't go back to the family. No distractions from your kids or your wife or significant other, whatever it may be. Bonding factor, Chris.
Sure.
I'm trying here.
Why not?
Why
not? They're all maybe they spent a beautiful day on the bay and they're like, this place is great.
Tell you who doesn't care. Vegas.
Vegas
doesn't care.
I don't think it's going to make an impact, but who knows? We'll have to see.
Massive spread. I don't know if it's still over double digits.
It was 11
last time I checked. And
so.
and going up, I believe it started in single digits.
Yeah, it definitely was
9.5. Then I think the last I saw was 10.5, and you've seen 11.
I'm seeing 10.5 now, but I think once that Saquon news came out yesterday, it was a big shift.
Well, I hope it's not a laugher. I mean, even when I'm a fan of a team, I mean, I don't like nail biters, so I would like to, but I don't want it to be full blown. Like, I'm only watching this because I'm going on air tomorrow and I got to take notes for tomorrow's show. I want to watch it going.
That was a good
they got a
game.
chance.
Feels important.
At least be in it. And I think Daniel Jones. Where are you on Daniel Jones?
I'm not a Daniel Jones guy. I think he had a good contract year, but I think we've seen more times than not that when you perform, when your contract year is the outlier, that usually that usually indicates that you're probably the guy that you were before that contract.
You mean Eric Dampier wasn't going to replicate his contract year?
There's infinite examples.
That could be a segment. We should find out all the guys who balled out in their contract year and then fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun exercise.
There's more than enough.
Because my immediate, the first thing that goes in my head is Eric Dampier.
Yeah.
Because I remember he looked like an all-star center, and this was back when centers were more valued. Got that contract.
That's how it goes.
Looked like Victor Alexander. Anybody out there that remembers Victor Alexander knows what I'm talking about. All right, coming up, bottom of the hour, Lincoln Kennedy. By the way, if you're bored at work, just Google Lincoln Kennedy. There's crazy things between the names Lincoln and Kennedy, all these tie-ins and conspiracy theories and all that good stuff. He's heard it 1,000 times, so I won't bring it up with him. But if you're curious and into that kind of thing, do that. We will speak with him next. You're listening to Zakariah, Chris Watkins, right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My check engine light's on?
That could hurt your gas mileage. The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can help find the fix for free.
Get in the zone.
This whole report for free?
That's right, printed and on your phone for free.
Get in the zone.
But what if the fix is too tough?
We'll recommend a local shop. Fix Finder, only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Sactown Sports is home to the Kings, Niners, and now the business of sports. Hosted by Kelly Brothers and brought to you by Cap Trust, offering customized, independent financial advice at captrust.com. Join Kelly Brothers, Carmichael, Dave, and Jason as they look at the business of sports every Thursday at 7:40 a.m. You want to know how sports really work? Follow the money with Kelly Brothers from Cap Trust on Sactown Sports.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, as always, of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. What's happening, Chad, for Ram Power Days?
Right now, save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorns, or get 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, save up to $8,000 off MSRP. No matter what you do, you're going to save thousands, but you better hurry in because that 0% won't last long.
0% financing? That's amazing.
Even I was surprised when I saw that. Plus, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Limiteds too. No matter what you get, there's money to be saved at Hoblet.
Those huge savings won't last long. Hurry into the Hoblet Ram Truck Center or see their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$8,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 72 months on select new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn after $8,000 dealer discounts on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. No down payment required. Equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. Or $12,000 total net savings after $6,500 factory rebates plus $5,500 dealer discounts. 10 in each net savings. $17,000 total net savings after $91.17 factory rebates and $78.83 dealer discounts. Sample VIN 665-579. Rebates may include $1,000 case construction cash. Must prove purchase of eligible case equipment to qualify. And $500 first responder cash for current members of eligible first responder associations.
Fall is here, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling wants to make sure you're taken care of through the month of September. From now until September 30th, book any tune-up or troubleshooting appointment and get 100% of the trip charge credited back on any completed repairs. Normal big box companies charge $89 or more. Why not put that toward what needs to be fixed? Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now at 530-GOOD-AIR. That's 530-GOOD-AIR. Or book your appointment now at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
At Fisher Investments, our clients know we have their backs.
How do your clients know that?
Because Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, the highest standard for a financial advisor. It means we're there for our clients and always put their interests first.
So wait, you do it because you have to?
No, we do it because it's the right thing to do. Our clients trust us with their retirement savings, and we know how important that responsibility is. So we take the time to really get to know them.
Get to know them how?
We make sure we understand their unique goals, finances, health, family, and lifestyle so we can tailor their portfolio to their specific needs. Our goal is to help them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Sounds like a big responsibility. You must make big commissions then, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We have one single transparent fee that's structured so we do better when our clients do better. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you are switching to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento this Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's this Saturday only, September 23rd. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. Alongside Chris Watkins, I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports 1140. You can join the program anytime, anyway. Well, two ways. You can call or text 916-339-1140. Check us out on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. Coming up at 10:45. It's called The Fifth, Fun in the 40s, and we'll go around the wacky world of sports. 13 hours of sleep, Chris. What does that even mean?
Means you're well rested, that's for sure.
Jeez, I'm criminy. But right now, it is time to speak with the one, the only. I'd call him a friend. I don't know that he would call me a friend, but he is a former standout offensive lineman, current Raider color commentator, and also a network analyst on Pac-12 Network. You can follow him on Twitter at LKennedy72. Big Link, what's popping?
Zach, what's wrong? What's up, man? You know you can call me a friend. You're a friend. What's happening, man? How you doing?
Fair enough, man. Life is good. No complaints. I want to start actually. I mean, I know you do both NFL and college, but we had OC on, Sean O'Connell, who does a Pac-12 show for SiriusXM, and we were just talking about the state of the Pac-12. And I don't know exactly where you stand or how you're feeling about it. Obviously, it's part of what you do directly, but more from a macro perspective. And I'd love to hear your own personal story on it. But this is the best the Pac-12's been probably in my lifetime, Link. They got like 50 teams in the top 25, even though that's not possible.
Isn't that something to trip? Well, anything's possible since the Big Ten is no longer 10 schools. But that's another conversation for another day. To answer your question, Zach, it really hurts me. It really does, because I feel that there's more than a century of history of all the great athletes and great people that came out of the Pac, whether it's a Pac-8, Pac-10, or Pac-12. All the great people that came out, it seems like it's going to be for waste, because the conference is going to be dissolved. So it really hurts me when it comes to that standpoint. And look, it just doesn't feel right for, Washington to have to travel back to Rutgers to play a volleyball game. You know what I mean? And something's not right about that. And so, but it is what it is. And we see that everything's been affected by money. It's unfortunate, but that's what it's come down to.
When was the last time you feel like the Pac-12 or the Pac whatever was this competitive?
You know what? Here's the thing. I've always felt that the Pac-12 was competitive because it was the only conference that made you play at least 9 conference games. And so for all the other conferences that are top-heavy, I've noticed over the years that, on any given Saturday, anybody in the Pac can beat anyone else. And it doesn't really matter who's favored. A lot of times it'll go for it. But, you talk about some of the teams that come out of nowhere nobody talks about, like Utah. And now Colorado, everybody's talking about. But I mean, before Prime got there, nobody talked about it. And if USC wasn't good, then the Pac wasn't something that was standing out. Since USC has been good and other schools have caught up, the Pac is now getting its due respect.
Lincoln Kennedy joins us. Zachariah, Chris Watkins here on Sactown Sports. 1140. I'm laughing a little bit, Link, because I love you, brother. Your background, not your main picture, but your background picture on Twitter is your Madden score at right tackle. We got nothing but 90s, baby. I can't see exactly. I think that's strength at 95, awareness 94. I can't read the rest because the font is too small, but nothing but 90s from my guy. You were a hell of a offensive lineman. Let's move over to the NFL. Let's start with your Raiders before we get to the Niners. Silver and black get a, let's call it ugly, win in Denver. And then after a 7-0 start looking good, just get totally blown out in week 2. What do you make of the transition from Carr to Jimmy G, and how do you feel about the Raiders for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, I like the transition. I think, Jimmy Garoppolo has been a winner everywhere he's gone, throwing over 65% of his passes, which is something as well. The touchdown to interception ratio is in favor of probably the best free agent the Raiders could have picked up in this situation. So I like the turning the page in the next series, what we're looking forward to. But here's the thing. When we look at the first month of this schedule, Denver, at Buffalo, and you got the Chargers actually got the Steelers at home on Sunday night, and the Chargers at SoFi. So this was no easy first month, if you will. There were a lot of people who were speculating on how the Raiders were going to come out. I'm just glad in the week, as we're approaching week 3, they're 1-1 and not 0-2. Yes, it would have been great to be 2-0, but I think we've seen the signs of what people are going to do to the Raiders when they feel that they're going to give the ball to Josh Jacobs. They're going to load the box. So the Raiders have got to do a better job of assigning blocking schemes, and more importantly, find a way to do play action out of the heavy package they have with Thayer Munford as the extra tight end and Jakob Johnson at fullback. Everyone knows when those two guys come in, you're not going to throw the ball to them, so they load the box. So you got to find a way to either use play action to your advantage. You got to take a little bit of the onus off of Josh Jacobs. Offensive line's got to do it better on the interior part. Defense, somebody else has got to rise up besides Max Crosby. You got to have a couple other playmakers on that defensive line. So the team has got some holes. It's got some filling out to do. But I'll tell you this, Zach and Chris, most coaches these days in the NFL, by way of looking at the preseason, because most teams don't play their starters in the preseason, most coaches in the NFL use the first month of the season to evaluate and see where their team is truly at.
You mentioned Josh Jacobs, and I just want to talk about him for a second. He had -2 yards on Sunday against Buffalo. He's got 46 on the season. He obviously held out at training camp because of a contract dispute with, just ongoing running backs and that conversation. Do you feel like he's kind of playing himself into shape, or like you kind of mentioned in that last answer, do you feel like it's just teams are kind of stacking the box against him because he led the NFL in rushing last year?
Well, that's just it. He's the returning rushing leader. And take the two teams that we faced, first and foremost. Denver, Josh Jacobs over the last 3 years has torched Denver. He's had unbelievable numbers against Denver. So obviously when Sean Payton took over, he's like, the first game out of the box is against the Raiders. We're not going to let Josh Jacobs beat us. They blatantly took Josh Jacobs away. The offensive line could have done a better job of blocking, but they blatantly took off Jacobs away. In the second game, Buffalo pretty much did the same. Their defensive tackles manhandled the interior offensive line of the Raiders and really got after them and really made it difficult to run between the tackles. And right now, the Raiders don't have a solid tight end that's capable of blocking the perimeter. That's why they have to bring in Thayer Munford. And it's a telltale sign because defenses know you're not going to throw it to your second offensive tackle.
From the silver and black to the red and gold, I want to know, have you heard anything from your peers in terms of the difference between Candlestick and Levi's? It's kind of a two-parter to get you out of here. Have you heard the difference between those two stadiums in terms of the fans and the players liking playing in those two different spots? And also, is tonight going to be a laugher? If not, I'm trying to give Chris reasons why the Niners or why the Giants might make it close. What do you make about Thursday Night Football?
Well, the Niners are clicking on all cylinders right now, so I can't really be mad at them. And they look like one of the favorites, especially to come out of NFC. NFC, to me, is not as competitive as the AFC overall, but they've got some good teams, and the Niners are definitely one of them. So I think it might be a real ass-whooping tonight, especially if Purdy gets off to a strong start like we've seen in the past. But as far as the difference between Candlestick and Levi, I'm just going to speak from my own standard. That sunny side in Levi is no joke. On the peninsula, it gets hot as hell down there. I don't know how people do it, especially on that sunny side. So if I was a season ticket holder on that side, I'd be mad, want my money back. I do miss the old Candlestick. It got cold there, but, both of them were good fields. Both of them were nice playing surfaces. I think just for Levi, it's harder to get in and out of there than ever before. And more importantly, that sunny side, like I said, is a killer.
The one, the only Lincoln Kennedy. Follow him on Twitter at LKennedy72. Check out his color commentating for the Raider Network. Also, check out his work on the Pac-12 Network. We Talk Sports. You still doing that on the weekends on Fox?
No, I stopped doing that, man. With college football, the travel and everything else became too much. So I just do the college game on Saturdays and wherever the Raiders are on Sundays, or what have you.
Fair enough. And also check out his cigars, LKC cigars, if you will. Appreciate you taking out the time, Link. Enjoy your weekend.
Anytime, bro. You guys take care of Zach and Chris. See you later.
Right on. There you go. Big Link, man. I didn't bring up the snowball incident. He's probably happy.
I think
about
that's
that.
probably for the best.
Yeah, he's tired of me bringing that up. But if you're listening, and again, killing time, go ahead and I think it's still on YouTube. They took it down at one point. I was mad.
Too violent.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't do nothing crazy, but yeah, they were getting rowdy. It was a very blistery day in Denver.
Sometimes people got to learn, man. They got to learn the tough way, especially those. Sometimes fans be fanning too hard, and it's
That's
like, especially
the last guy I would throw a snowball
especially
at.
football players. It's like, dude, don't.
Maybe a punter.
Just don't mess with them.
Maybe a kicker or a punter. But
Hey,
I'm
you
not
never know
throwing
who
it
their
at Big
friends
Link.
are.
All right, coming up next, it's time to plead the fifth. Fun in the 40s. Man, how much sleep do you get in a day? Because a certain pitcher blamed his poor performance on lack of sleep when it was in the double digits. I can't understand that. We'll do that and much more around the wacky world of sports. You're listening to Chris Watkins and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and save Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and save Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable, fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Welcome back to the program, Sacramento. It is Chris Watkins and Zakariah right here on Sactown Sports. Join the program. Check us out on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. Search Sactown Sports or Sactown Sports 1140 all across all of the good platforms. Coming up top of the hour, I will continue throughout the 4-hour program, Chris, to sprinkle in reasons that I don't even believe, but I'll make it seem like I do on why the Giants can maybe win. Hopefully, at least keep it close.
Maybe keep it close.
I don't want to see a blowout. Yeah, we'll start. Baby steps.
Yeah, let's work our way up to possibly winning.
Have you ever seen the Bill Murray movie, What About Bob?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, in that movie, he plays kind of a crazy person, and he sees a therapist, and the therapist has a book that's called Baby Steps. So he reads the book, he lives by the book, and baby steps. Anytime he's freaking out, he just says baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. So we'll do baby steps.
Let's do it.
And then a whole bunch of stuff of why it's going to be a blowout. So I'll start with the reasons why.
Yeah, exactly. And then we'll say, forget all that stuff.
Yeah.
Here's
specifically Daniel Jones, man, these numbers. And I didn't even search these numbers out, Chris. That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
When the numbers find you,
exactly,
it's not good. So we'll do that and much, much more as we get ready for Thursday Night Football tonight. But right now, it's time for the fifth. That is fun in the 40s. That's where we go around the wacky world of sports. And I have to start here with a name that, again, I did not look up the pronunciation of. You know why? I couldn't find. There's a site where you just type in the name and it tells you how to say it.
Okay.
And I couldn't find the site anymore. And it wasn't on YouTube. But he's a Blue Jays pitcher. Can we just go with that?
Sure.
Should I try the name?
Try the name and I'll see if Baseball Reference has.
It's a dangerous game.
Okay.
Usai.
Jeez. Okay. How was that?
Kikuchi. Usai Kikuchi.
Okay.
Now you see how close I was.
How do I spell that?
Phonetically, that's what it looks like. Y-U.
Okay.
S-E-I. As we have
gotcha.
fun. See, this is fun in the 40s. You're allowed to do live radio and fun in the 40s. But anyways.
Yeah, there is no pronunciation guide to this.
Okay. Well, I did my best.
It says there is. It says you say.
You say, okay.
Kikuchi.
Kikuchi.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
You say Kuki.
Kind of nailed it.
Kikuchi.
I'd give me a B- on that. And I thought it was going to be an F.
Yeah, I would even give you a B.
The story around Kikuchi is that he thinks he'll be fine for his next start after he left yesterday's start.
Okay.
With cramps. No big deal.
See, that sounds normal.
Athletes get cramps.
They do.
Have you ever had a cramp?
Yes.
Like a bad one?
Yeah.
So I've had moderate ones throughout all my time playing sports. And I always thought, what are these people? Like, this happens to me a lot where I go, what are these people talking about? And then it happens to you. And then you're all of a sudden like egg on your face. Like I should. So now I'm careful about ever not being sympathetic
cramps,
to anything.
all that stuff.
Because I had cramps, but they were never a big deal. Most of the time I could play through it. If not, it was just a little bit. And then I was, whatever. You just, you rub it out. But I had a cramp one time so bad in a car. And I was driving. First of all, I almost crashed. Second of all, I had to pull over, and then it didn't go away for like an hour. So I was just on the side of the road. People were like asking me, "Do you have a flat tire or something?"
Like,
no,
just
the cramp. Yeah, and it would hurt.
That's wild.
So bad.
That's wild.
And remember, LeBron famously had cramps in the finals.
Yeah.
But anyways,
San Antonio.
You'd think no big deal. He left the game with cramps.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest revelation, however, Chris, was that he said it might have been caused by his only getting 11, my favorite number, hours of sleep last night instead of his usual 13 or 14.
Bro is sleeping more than half the day typically.
I mean, you usually break a day into 3 parts, right? The work portion of your day, 8 hours.
Yep.
The sleeping portion of your day, 8 hours, if you're lucky.
Sure.
And then whatever you do with the rest of the other 8 hours of the day.
I've never considered my day like that, but that's actually a really productive way.
You break it into thirds. 14 hours? Half your day is asleep. I mean, God bless.
That's what you can do when you're a professional athlete, I guess.
This is more me yelling out of envy than it is out of critiquing the guy. I would love to sleep half the day.
Yeah.
Half the day. And cats sleep, I believe, 3/4 of the day.
Yes. Oh, they definitely do.
Yeah.
And that's a baseline.
18 hours a day. Yeah, for sure. I have 2 cats.
Yeah, all they do is
I would actually
sleep.
take the over on that. Anyways, that was just part of the wacky world of sports, but good for him. I mean, I don't know if he's been doing that his whole life, but I guess when you're paid that much and you're a professional athlete, I don't think the normal person can do that. And then more around, and we're going to have Christopher Russo. Not sure how familiar you are with Mad Dog.
Oh, yeah.
Came up when radio was radio.
Yeah, exactly.
Radio was one of those things. We have audio of him messing up names. Are you a tennis guy?
Yeah, I play tennis sparingly, maybe once every other month or so, but watching, not an incredible amount of watching, but I follow, what SportsCenter shows me essentially.
Fair enough. Well, as I've said numerous times, for sports outside of basically
the main
football,
ones,
basketball, and baseball, I watched the big events, so NHL playoffs, the majors. So I watched the majors, and I've gotten to
Did you watch this past U.S. Open?
I did.
It was incredible. I did watch it.
Unfortunately.
Coco Gauff was incredible.
Oh, that part was great. Yes, loved that.
It was great.
I'm talking about the men's side. And I've watched enough tennis now where I have favorites and non-favorites.
Sure.
And basically, I usually just have one favorite, and then I hate everybody else, but especially the good ones out of the rest of the.
Yeah.
So anyways, I'm a Nadal guy.
Okay.
And Nadal, Federer, and the Joker.
Yes.
Have been kind of oscillating, having the most
great triangle. Yeah, greatness triangle, if you will.
But then Federer retired.
Yep.
So he's kind of in the dust.
Yep.
He'll probably be at 3 forever. Then Nadal and the Joker, and then the Joker missed one because he didn't get the vaccine in Australia and New York. But then Nadal's been dealing with injuries, and he's been out.
Getting up there too.
And I think the Joker's now 2 up.
Yeah.
And Nadal came out and said, the Joker's the best. So it's even worse when my guy
admits defeat
to the guy that I hate and I'm rooting against. But I mean, it is true. Yeah, I think he's got 2 more, and he's younger, and he hasn't dealt with the injuries nearly as much as Nadal has. So I think he's only going to separate. I mean, I think Nadal is not officially retired, so he might come back, but that hurt. Let's move on to you say Takeo, I say Takeo Spikes.
I would say Takeo Spikes.
Yeah, Takeo. I like Takeo. Some people say Takeo. Anyways. Great career. Got honored by the Bills.
Yeah.
What could be the problem?
Sure.
He took a picture from where he was sitting.
Oh gosh.
It was like remember I was talking about Wrigley Field and there being a big beam in front of me? Basically, part of the higher section of the stadium, the cement block altered his view from the field. And even if it was a clear view, he was a long ways away.
They couldn't
now
get
he was
that
in
man
a suite.
That's what I was going to say. At least,
but it was a bad suite.
Sure.
It was like a corner suite. So he left early and he said, Bills fans, great win, go Bills, but this is not how you treat the people that you honor.
That's terrible.
Which led me to believe, I mean, maybe the people that they put in the better suites were people that partners.
I guess.
People that were, that's cold. And even stick them in that one.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure the partners would love to meet him.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm sure it would be an even bigger, maybe Takeo might not like that, but that's crazy. If you're going to, especially an organization like the Bills, which has been down on their luck pre-Josh Allen era, like you would think, one of their greats, they would definitely treat right, but that's dirty.
Finally here to round out fun in the 40s, Gilbert Arenas, that guy. Oh my God. You remember when he said that he
said a lot of
his scheme at the strip club is that he says his credit card got stolen and he put that on Instagram as if, I mean, that's a criminal offense. Anyways, he went off on finding it ridiculous that Hakeem Olajuwon charges $50,000 for his instructional.
Like these big man
like I
trainings?
guess Giannis has been using Hakeem's services, and he finds it funny because he gives no respect to that era and thinks that all of his moves are outdated.
No, that's ridiculous.
I do. Hakeem the Dream, the Hakeem Shake.
Yeah, I mean, it's footwork. I mean, there's been so many bigs. It hasn't happened in a while, but there used to be like routinely every offseason
camps.
Dwight Howard would go.
100%.
I remember it was like, oh my God, is Dwight Howard going to be different this year? Because
I think
he
Ewing
spent the
might have
summer.
had one.
LeBron spent a summer with Hakeem and credited a lot of his post moves to that work. Like, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, Gilbert is definitely somebody who's very of his era, but I completely disagree. I think that Hakeem definitely has a lot of gems that can absolutely be utilized even in today's NBA.
Watch the 1994,
it's ridiculous,
I believe, or 97 playoffs, whatever it was, when he just abused
Might
Patrick
be my
Ewing.
favorite center of all time.
Yeah, he was great. Anyway, so that'll round it out. That is the fifth. Fun in the 40s coming up top of the hour. I continue my 4-hour mission to give any Giants fans out there listening
a little hope
of a good game, in the very least, maybe a win. Might be going too far. Baby steps, as the Bill Murray movie will tell you. So we'll do that at the top of the hour. You were listening to Watkins Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and Sactownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life and your choices with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age, but there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
You're faced with a long shot in the heavy rough. Now what? Jessica Marksberry writes in Golf Magazine that while hybrids have made these shots a bit easier to deal with, lengthy shots from heavy rough are still a significant challenge. Top 100 teacher Tina Toombs says the first thing you need is loft and a specific mindset over the ball. You need to hold onto the club firmer with your left hand to prevent the club from grabbing the grass. You can elect to play in the back of your stance or play it forward. Playing it forward makes the swing a bit steeper so it can stay open more and the ball comes out of the rough better. She says a 7-wood makes it easier than a hybrid for longer shots. The ball comes out low, but rolls a long way because of topspin. And if all else fails, she says bailing out is an option too, and there's no shame in taking your medicine to avoid compounding your initial error. If you're really not sure, take your 9-iron and get it out. Don't risk topping it and leaving it in the rough. Good luck out there. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes, the IRS has greenlighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship and is now accessible through Tax Help USA. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. For this free information, call 800-251-1413. 800-251-1413. That's 800-251-1413.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for all your favorite models at low prices and payments, plus low finance rates and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends at Folsom Lake Kia right here in Sacramento for over 20 years.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Oh, yes.
Yikes.
That's how you start your 11 o'clock hour, Chris.
This is a tough way to remember that it's my sister's birthday today.
Okay, we're going to get into that in a second. Let me do the ins and outs, but that's how we're going to start. We are going to get into Niners Giants.
Thanks for the reminder, Jay. Appreciate that.
I've got to get to the bottom of that. Welcome back, Sacramento, into the 11 o'clock portion of your day. Coming up at 11:15. The 49ers plan to stop Daniel Jones. Much more on Thursday Night Football. Niners fans got to get excited. Always love when your squad is either playing, even Sunday Night Football, despite the fact that there's games all day.
Right.
When your game is isolated, you got to love it. So we'll do more on that. And it is Zakariah and Chris Watkins here on Sactown Sports 1140. You can call or text the show 916-339-1140. Find us on all the social media platforms, and you can watch our mugs on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. I'm on Twitter. Got to throw that out there. Thirsty, as the kids say, for followers at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. He's at Chris M. Watkins. And also check out your Sacramento State Hornets, Chris. They will host Northern Arizona after that big win this Saturday. Get your tickets at hornetsports.com. Stinger up.
Yes, sir. All the way up.
Does every team do that? I know the Dolphins do fins up. Is it Niners up? Is it Raiders up?
No.
Is it Rams up?
I think they do Rams up or something. There's like they say Rams house or something. The Rams do have a very corny okay. They got something bad.
Sicker than your average. You know what? I have a weird case of OCD. It's not like your prototypical have to like walk through the door 4 times. But I do this thing where if I meet somebody and they have a doppelganger, it'll ruin my day until I figure out who it is.
Okay.
And now you know what I'm going to do? I am going to I'm not going to go as far as college, but I am going to look through all the professional teams and who has the ups and who doesn't.
Right. I know there's like horns down, right? That's like the
anti-Texas. Texas, yes.
Right. Okay.
But I'm going to do that. And I'm going to, even though probably nobody cares, it's going to bother me until I know.
That is, again, a 22-hour tease.
And also, that's my specialty. And also, if you're feeling lucky, go to Capital Casino. It's conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. Okay. I told you my 4-hour mission throughout the day, Chris, on this lovely Thursday afternoon here in Sacramento, is my goal to give you different ways that perhaps the Giants, because I think everybody, even Giants people, which we'll get into later, are not picking the Giants. Nobody really thinks that they have a chance. But how's this for a little caveat for our boss and any other Giants fans out there? The Niners can be beat through the air, and Jalen Hyatt had a great game against the Cardinals last week. Here it is. Here it is.
Okay.
Only 9 teams have given up more passing yards than the San Francisco 49ers. Boom.
Okay.
Does that help?
That's somewhere to start. That's a start. That's definitely a start.
I'll take a start.
That's definitely a start.
Right.
Like we baby steps, remember?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's if the Giants are going to win, it's going to be because Daniel Jones throws for 300 plus yards. I mean, I would expect it to be more 350 plus if they're going to win this game. It's just going to have to be explosive play after explosive play.
Agreed.
And that's really the Niners' weak spot on the defensive side is their safeties are fantastic, but their corners aren't near the elite in the league.
That's about it, though.
That's really
front
it.
4, all
Incredible.
you need to rush with, linebacking core
Fred
up
Warner.
there with the best.
Yep.
Safety's fantastic. Yeah, you're right.
Incredible.
But the thing is, corners don't have to be great because most of the time they only have to cover for about 2
Couple
seconds.
seconds.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you're good to go.
Yep.
But anyways, that's my thing. Only 9 teams have given up more passing yards.
Okay.
So
That's a start.
Stafford looked good last week.
He did. He
and
looked really comfortable.
Yeah, a lot of the numbers were sort of fugazi for the Steelers, but still, in general, over 2 weeks, only 9 teams have given up more. So
there you go.
That's my little thing to throw out there.
That's not nothing.
Now let's go back. So I think it's going to be like 95-5. My goal is to make it like 85-15. Reasons why,
Sure.
These Daniel Jones numbers, Chris, not good.
Not great.
In prime time. If I told you my favorite number, he's played 11 of them.
Okay.
Your guess on his record.
I would say Daniel Jones hasn't had a great career so far. The Giants have had, middling success somewhere around 500
in his
probably
defense,
for his career.
Not great coaching, not great personnel.
Yeah.
Last year was the first year, and they did make it to the playoffs and won a playoff game. But you're guessing primetime games.
Let's say the Daniel Jones era is in prime. So this is prime time in general. Thursdays, Mondays, Sunday night football.
Anything after, for our time.
Right.
Yeah, so anything after like 5 o'clock.
Gotcha. Let's say Daniel Jones is really bad. He's 3-8.
Even worse.
Okay, I was trying to give him the benefit.
1-10.
Okay.
That's not good.
No,
now,
that's
I'm
terrible.
not like you said, it depends on your coaching. And I think not Vrabel. I always get the name mixed up. It rhymes with that. The head coach for the Giants.
Right now, Dable.
Yeah.
Dable.
Vrabel is the Titans head coach. Yeah, Dable. He's turned that thing around. Came from Buffalo.
Absolutely.
I think he had a huge influence on Daniel Jones's contract year. That's another thing I'm going to look up. I got to write these notes down. Contract year, guys. Had a big difference. So, but still, 1-10 means the most. I mean, maybe his only win was when he took over.
Right.
But that's bad. And then also the numbers without Barkley.
Oh, I can't imagine these are anything that's even remotely safe. Like this has to be terrible.
This has got to be Giants in general because I don't think Daniel Jones has even played this many games. But without Barkley, or let's say with Barkley,
okay,
amazing numbers.
Yeah,
46-20
when Saquon
with
plays?
Barkley.
Wow,
that's eye popping, right?
That feels wrong.
Yeah. Do you want to hear the record without him?
Yes,
16-70. Which I was doing the math. I didn't even realize that Barkley. Right. Did I get something in there wrong?
I don't think that's right.
Okay.
I don't think that's right.
I'm okay. Now, granted, usually I cross my T's and dot my I's. This was not a copied and paste from an article, so I can't hang this over somebody's head. But this was from the #1 show in the United States, radio wise.
Okay.
And those were the numbers that they threw out. I was typing as I was listening.
So he's played 62 career games.
Okay. So 46-20, that would be 66. So that's impossible.
That's already
and
wrong.
16-70. Okay, well then look it up for me because I might have messed it up. They are staggering. Here. 16 and what? Yeah, I messed that up. That's a flag on me. 15-yard variety. Check your stats, people. I thought I had something staggering. Yeah, that's what I heard as I was typing. It was about 6 a.m. in my defense.
Let's see here. His record in games he has played, they are 20-41 and 1 in games that he has played. I don't know how to check games he hasn't played.
20-40. Okay, yeah, I got this whole thing.
Or since I get that's actually just in his career. That's not accounting for games specifically that he didn't play.
Okay.
In the Saquon Barkley era, they are 20-40, 20-41 and 1.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Not including 1-1 in postseason.
Yeah, and then another guy. This is another as I sprinkle in possibilities of the Giants making this game close. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Their top pick last year.
He was great last year.
Yeah.
He had no tackles last week.
Wow.
And he was spotted and videotaped on the sideline, sort of sulking as the Giants were
That's not great.
making a comeback. You know what his excuse was? And I swear to God, this is only because of the audio that we played yesterday.
Yeah.
Where Troy Aikman was laughing at Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
like
his, mental visualization. Yeah.
That came out.
Uh-huh.
And then he met with the media, and his excuse was he was visualizing, not pouting.
Not sulking.
The reason why he wasn't
Just
celebrating with his
deep in
teammates
thought.
is he was deep in visualization.
Okay.
To me, there's no way that's a
great
coincidence.
excuse. That's a great excuse.
But there's no way that's
No.
he saw that and he goes, "Oh, that's what I'm going to use.
That's a good
I'm going to
excuse
use
to
that."
use.
I used to do that in high school all the time. When somebody had a good excuse, I was like,
I'm
use
going to
that.
steal that at least once. Yeah, especially for an absence or something like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau's. I'm looking at his stats right now for the
They're
season.
ugly.
He's got 4 tackles all
Total.
year. I mean, through
Yeah.
2 games.
No sacks, right?
No sacks,
Yeah.
no nothing. And last year he was
a standout.
just a stud last year. I mean,
he was the focal point of that defense.
13 QB hits last year, only has
Yeah.
1 so far this year. But
Yeah, and I think the statute of limitations have passed. But one of the ones where I'm going to use that, sleep apnea. I used that at Cal. Let's just say that when I went to Contra Costa College and played basketball in junior college, shout out to that college, fine institution.
Yep.
It is a lot different than Cal Berkeley in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
So I fell a little behind in my classes.
Sure.
Also in my early 20s, you got to forgive me.
It's tough.
But I used the old sleep apnea on my teacher for a
Just missing
reason.
class or
no,
for,
just
missing
late
a
on
test or
my
something?
final paper. Like a 15 pager. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Didn't have it quite done by the due date.
Sure.
Hit him with the sleep apnea. They didn't ask for an actual doctor's note.
Really?
And shout out to all the people who have people in their life where you can get a doctor's note, doctored, pun intended.
Yeah.
I didn't have that, but I didn't need it. She bought it. Sleep apnea. And then, got my degree barely, if you will.
Hey.
Anyway.
C's get degrees, man.
But that's what happened. There is no way that Kayvon was doing anything other than sulking.
No.
And if I'm anybody's like personal assistant or agent, I'm telling those guys, because I feel like they forget in the heat of the moment, remember that cameras are on you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that goes for anybody in any walk of life in work, but specifically football play. Like, you're not going to be able to get away with showing that you're disgruntled on the sideline and not celebrating with your teammates as they make a furious comeback, and then don't come back with that's stuff you should run by. Hey, I'm going to use the visualization thing that Troy Aikman was making fun of Deshaun Watson on. You think that'll work for me, being PO'd on the sideline and not, being happy that my team's coming back? But anyways, if he has a breakout day, because we know that one of the few flaws or small flaws that the Niners have is the offensive line. He could have a breakout day.
Exactly.
I'm just going to continue to pepper throughout the show.
Yeah.
Different reasons why we can see it.
Yeah,
But
to me, that's the one key where if you're trying to disrupt the 49ers offense, if you can get pressure on Brock Purdy and make him kind of play a little scared or just get him backed up against the wall a little bit, that's a good way of finding out. I mean, we've still got a lot of questions about Brock Purdy, but that's the way of really possibly slowing down this Niners offense.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right, coming up next, the Niners plan to stop Daniel Jones. We will get into that and much, much more. If you want to jump in, are you getting ready for this game? You think it's going to be a cakewalk? I feel like Niners fans might be so confident, Chris, that, you have to manage your planning with your significant other. This might be almost a spot similar to what I'm saying. If I was a season ticket holder that I might sell the tickets, I might, to show my lady just how much I love her, even though I'm a hardcore Niners fan and I usually derail our plans. This might be a spot where you tell her, you know what? Let's do what you want to do tonight. Because I think they might be that confident. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But we'll see. 916-339-1140. How confident are you, Niners fans? We'll get into that and much, much more. You're listening to Chris Watkins, Zakariah, right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Fall is here, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling wants to make sure you're taken care of through the month of September. From now until September 30th, book any tune-up or troubleshooting appointment and get 100% of the trip charge credited back on any completed repairs. Normal big box companies charge $89 or more. Why not put that toward what needs to be fixed? Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now at 530-GOOD-AIR. That's 530-GOOD-AIR. Or book your appointment now at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
Safe Credit Union is our local community-based financial partner, and they are committed to the well-being of their members. Jason Ross here, and we all work hard to reach our financial goals, and banking with Safe helps make that a reality. Because with Safe, you always get competitive rates on savings and loans, so you can spend less and save more for your future. If you're not a member yet, give Safe a try and discover all that truly makes Safe one of the best credit unions in California. Join today at safecu.org/join. Safe Credit Union is insured by NCUA.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. Alongside Chris Watkins, I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports 1140 coming up, bottom of the hour. We may be the home of the Niners, Chris, but you know what else we're the home of?
Yes, the Sacramento Kings, of course.
Your Sacramento Kings. And we try to fit them in however we can. Not forced, genuine things that run through our mind. So we will ask you, and if you want to join in, you can let us know. Which Pacific Division team, as they didn't do anything for the Pacific Division crown, did they? Did they do like a celebration?
Not yet. I mean, we're going to see opening night.
I'm hoping
we'll
not,
see.
Right? Do you celebrate those?
I think they will. I mean, the Kings haven't won the division since 2003, and so I just think
you're okay with it.
It depends how grandiose they make it. You know, if it's going to be like a whole lifting of the banner thing, you know, that might be a little much, but
a little semi unveiling.
Yeah, I mean, they have 2 division banners up right now. Again, if they are raising an individual banner, that might be too much for me. But if they already have I think they should consolidate them at this point. Just put Sacramento Kings division champions,
and then the years. Agreed.
I think they should just have one already up in the rafters and then pull a curtain from it. To me, that feels like the appropriate amount of celebration, because you're also going to be playing the Warriors game 1, and it's kind of like, how are you going to look when you're, division champion? And then it's like the other side, that as well, but the other side has got a fair share of actual banners. So it's like, I don't know. It's just bad luck.
For sure.
We'll see.
Which Pacific Division team scares you the most? Kings fans, if you want to jump in, or Niners fans, as we're about to get back into 916-339-1140. You can call or text there, or jump in the chat on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. All right. So, Niners game plan tonight, Chris. We've talked about it. 3 big injuries for the Giants. Not so good. And the Niners, for the most part, have you gotten any update on Ayuk?
He's game time decision. No,
I would almost sit him if it's even. For me, it all depends on whether or not you can re-aggravate it. If it's a re-aggravatable, if that's a word, injury, sit him for sure.
Yeah.
If it's something where it doesn't matter and it's going to be like this no matter what, then trot him out. I haven't heard anything other than the same thing that you just said, game time decision.
Yeah, and I mean, he finished the game last week, so he's clearly able to play through it, but it is, with the shoulder injury, it's kind of just, he hurt it by being tackled and just kind of falling the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's really something that can happen on any play.
And he came back and it seemed like more of a stinger. I thought collarbone immediately, which is not something.
No, that's not something
you want to mess with. So thankfully it was not that. But yeah, Niners plan to stop Daniel Jones, Chris. I think that this is a scenario because a large part of the success for the Giants in the second half against the Cardinals last week was their pass protection.
Yeah.
They didn't run the ball great, but they gave Daniel Jones enough time, and Daniel Jones did a great job both between choosing when to run and choosing when to pass. But I can't see him getting the time that he did last week against Arizona.
There's no way.
Tonight against San Francisco.
No, I mean, the Niners have the best pass rush in the NFL, whether it is actually getting to the quarterback, but just the pressure that they can put on quarterbacks is absolutely insane. They didn't do a great job last week of getting to Stafford. Stafford was pretty comfortable. They had pressure on him, but never actually could get to him really. I think Daniel Jones I don't think that I'm not a big fan of the Giants offensive line, especially with the injuries that they've sustained. They're going to be out 2 offensive linemen. That's just not what you want when you're going against, again, the best pass rush, or at least the best collection of pass rushers in the NFL. Like it's going to be a long night for Daniel Jones. And like I said earlier, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Bosa sets the tone from the start. And I just think it's going to be a really long day for him because he's got to pass. I mean, again, with Saquon out, like they're not going to be as reliant on the run as what they typically are. And that's a big part of Dayball's system is getting Daniel Jones and a lot of RPO run pass options like he did with Josh Allen when he was in Buffalo.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the standout for the Giants offensive line is Andrew Thomas. He's the one that's going to be out. And then the Achilles heel is going to be in, which is Evan Neal. And that's the guy who we talked about. Bosa's probably going to be licking his chops. And then no Barkley is obviously a huge deal. This is another one. This is more pepper for your meal, as I try to pepper reasons why the Giants might make it close. How about a Breida revenge game?
That could happen for sure. I mean, that's in the cards for sure. He's probably going to, I mean, it's not like they can completely abandon the run because Daniel Jones is not Trevor Lawrence. He's not one of these young upstart quarterbacks that's really promising throwing the football.
Breida also has a history of catching the ball. He could play a similar role. I mean, he's not Barkley, obviously.
Right.
But I also don't think that revenge games are what they once were. Like, I remember a big revenge game was when Montana got traded to the Chiefs and he came back to Candlestick and beat the Niners in San Francisco. Yes. That's a revenge game. Nowadays, there's so many interchangeable moving pieces left and right between teams that you don't really have a feel for one guy from one squad. You do see it like Barry said. Well, I don't know why both my examples are from Detroit, but both Calvin Johnson, Megatron, and Barry Sanders played for one team. Mm-hmm. There are guys that do just play for one team. In this instance, I think there's like 17 ex-49ers on the Dolphins right now. And so, like, it's not – I don't think Niners fans are going to go into this. But if you're Breida, that could be some reason to not only try to fill Barkley's shoes, but stick it to your former team.
Sure, yeah.
Nobody likes to be tossed by the wayside.
No, yeah, it's multi-layered for sure. But, who knows? The Niners haven't really had to face that disruptive of a running game. Last week, I thought they did a good job of keeping Williams a little contained in terms of running the football. And then, of course, in week 1, the Steelers pretty much had no run game at all. So it would be interesting to see if they were to continue to commit to the run, the Giants, that is, what it would look like. But I wouldn't have much faith for it. And if we're talking about keeping up with the 49ers offense, that I don't think the Giants can afford to really, drag out possessions. And, they're going to try to do it. But I feel like if they really want to keep up with this 49ers offense, they're going to need explosive passing plays.
Well, we'll hear from Nick Bosa. We'll push that later into the show because we babbled enough about this game. But, yeah, to go to your point, one of the reasons why I was saying it could be close is because it could be a sloppy Thursday night game. Oftentimes you don't see these guys hitting on all cylinders on Thursday night. But to your point, that's not the kind of game that the Giants are going to win. Yeah. And the run part, even if that ends up being a positive from it, and I do think they're going to have to run the ball in order.
Oh, yeah, at least a little bit.
Well, yeah, in order to open it up for Barkley. But they're going to have to win some sort of shootout. Yeah. And I think the Niners defense are on high alert. It's not like they've been awful by any stretch. Right. But they also haven't been dominant. And I mentioned the, only 9 teams have given up more passing yards. I'm sure they're well aware of that, and I'm sure Bosa's well aware, especially after the contract, that he hasn't gotten a sack, despite him still being disruptive on the floor, on the field. So I feel like the chance is that it's a shootout, and I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a well-controlled game. I think it's going to be actually a lot like the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, I definitely see that as well, where it just feels like the Niners are in control from the start, and the Giants are just kind of playing catch up the entirety of the game.
Sort of. And and like the beauty of Brock, and we'll get into him a little bit later, is that he doesn't necessarily have to be the standout guy.
Sure.
He can beat the Niners can beat you in a variety of ways.
That's
and
the
I think they're
problem
going
with
to
the Giants.
purposely in this game make sure it's not the way where because I do think that they can hang blow for blow with other offensive powerhouses.
Yeah.
But they're going to make sure this is not that kind of game, because I think if we're aware of it, they're aware of it.
Yeah.
That's the Giants' only chance.
Yeah, I mean, and to take a play from my favorite team's book, to me, the way that the Giants should try and win this game is by just creating chaos. Like the best way to try and beat this Niners team, if you're the Giants, in my opinion, is to have the Niners try and beat themselves, forcing them to turn the ball over unnecessarily, fumbles, interceptions. If you can get the Niners to bail on a couple of their offensive possessions, that's where you can maybe get a lead and put the Niners on their heels a little, because that's the one thing, if I had to guess, the Niners really aren't expecting tonight is to be down at any point. So if you can, cause a turnover on the first couple drives, maybe get a 7 or 10-0 start, that would be interesting if you're the Giants. That's really, to me, the only way that they can do it, because I don't see a miraculous comeback in the cards again for the Giants this week.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to need to swing their way.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Balls
Ball's gonna
to
have to bounce their way.
Exactly. All that good stuff. All right. Coming up next, we will do your Daily King segment. We have to sneak them in however we can.
Making
because
it sound like a chore.
No, not at all. I would do even more, but it is, everybody loses their mind about football, and we are smack dab in the middle of it. And although Kings basketball is around the corner, not quite here yet, but we do want to ask the question going into the season, which Pacific Division team scares you the most? Kings fans, if you want to join the program, 916-339-1140. You can call or text in there. We will tackle that next. You're listening to Chris Watkins, Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento this Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's this Saturday only, September 23rd. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit KHTK.com.
Hey, if you're thinking about getting the latest iPhone, check this out. With Boost Infinite, you get the latest iPhone every year and unlimited wireless for just $60 a month. Yeah, you get the new iPhone 15 Pro that was just announced. Then again, next year, you get the latest iPhone every year. Boost Infinite. Infinitely better. To learn more, pick up your phone, dial pound 250 and save Boost Infinite. That's pound 250 and save Boost Infinite. Terms apply. After 30 gigabytes, service may be slow. Receive a comparable iPhone model each year with an acceptable trade-in every year. Requires credit qualification and 36-month phone financing agreement.
Okay, next time you're at the store, I dare you to not think about the unmistakable fresh, clean scent of Irish Spring. Yeah, you heard me. I want you to resist picturing a shower filled with those sensational Irish Spring suds. And if you succeed, well, you got what my gramps used to call resolutitude. Not a real word, but let's be honest, you're probably going to end up leaving with Irish Spring because of its irresistible scent and because you have zero resolutitude. Pick up Irish Spring at Walmart today.
Hagen Oaks wants you to know about the exciting new T-Series irons from Titleist, offering effortless speed, exceptional feel, and precise control. Working with tour pros and dedicated amateurs, Titleist T-Series are available in 4 different models. The fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
Right now, save up to $10,500 off MSRP when you lease the all-new 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xE. And you can even lease the all-new 2024 Sport S Wrangler 4xE for only $459 a month.
Sorry, Chad, I must have misheard you. Did you say 2024 Wrangler 4xE?
You heard that right. The brand new 2024s. And that's not it. If you've been looking at the Jeep Gladiator, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiators.
Wow, take advantage of these savings before they're gone at Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. See their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$10,500 total net savings applies to lease only after $8,500 factory rebates and $2,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, subject to change without notice. Lease term is 36 months with $49.95 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license on approved credit through Stellantis. 10,000 miles per year limit with 25 cents per mile charge for access. $12,000 total net savings on select 2023 Gladiators after $62.52 rebates and $53.48 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible First Responders Association. 5 days net savings. See dealer for details.
Now at Staples, the prices of HP printers are dropping. Save on HP Smart Tank and enjoy even more savings on ink. Save on the HP Inkjet, perfect for high-quality pics. Save on HP laser printers, great for tackling high-volume document printing. Now through September 30th, save on Staples' entire selection of HP printers, some as low as $69.99. With HP printer price drops at Staples, now is the time to upgrade to HP, America's most trusted printer brand. See staples.com/HP for details.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
One of my favorite songs of all time. Welcome back in, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports. Alongside Chris Watkins, I am Zakariah. Coming up at 11:45, Fun in the 40s. It will be our 4th edition of Getting to Know You. To make sure we have the Getting to Know You music dialed up. It's where I ask questions to Chris, and he has very non-definitive answers. I try to pull it out of him, and then I have very concrete answers for all of mine. So
I don't got simple answers to simple questions, man.
I know.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe the questions are bad. So maybe these will be better. But
possibly.
Either way, I will learn more about you, and that's the goal of the whole segment. So we'll do that at 11:45 in the 5th Fun in the 40s. But right now, we do a little Kings basketball talk. And, man, looking at this in the commercial break, and this is, I would say, now your Sacramento Kings are the Pacific Division Western Conference winners from last year.
Yes, sir.
With a 3-game cushion to boot. It's funny, man. So many teams to not make the playoffs. You got to be really bad. There's only 5 of you out of 15. 2/3 of the conference makes the playoffs. But I think it's the most difficult. I'm looking at both conferences. I'm looking at all the divisions, and I think it's the most difficult division in the NBA. Am I wrong, Chris?
No.
Before we even get to who scares you, I'm not.
No. I mean,
it's not even really close, is it?
It's not. No, it's not. It is a incredibly tough division. It reminds me a lot of the AFC North right now, where it's like realistically,
Ravens, Browns,
try and tell me
Bengals,
who's the worst team in that division, and give me like your hard why as to why you pick them for them to be the worst. Like it's real. You can poke holes in every single argument for why a team's going to be the worst and honestly the best in the division as well.
Yeah, there's 6 total between the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference, and the only one I guess I could make an argument for would be the Atlantic in the East, with the Celtics, Sixers, Knicks, Nets, and Raptors.
Sure.
But that's not
even then
close.
I would tell you pretty definitively that the Nets and the Raptors probably aren't to the same. Like the problem is, if you look at the playoff series last year,
Van Vliet,
who was the 3 seed? Sacramento Kings. Who was the 4 seed? It was the Phoenix Suns. The 5 seed was the Los Angeles Clippers. 6 seed was the Golden State Warriors.
All
the 7 seed was
Lakers.
Los Angeles Lakers.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
through 7 seeds last year were in the Pacific Division. There's no real, and if you look at the games, like the win totals, they all separated by like 3 or 4 games. So
for
there's
sure.
really marginal difference between all these teams.
And you could even say about the Grizzlies, they got off to a great start.
Incredible.
With the whole drama that they had with Ja, and
They'll
they
be
lost
missing
some
the first
pieces
25
in the
games.
Yeah. Only like real juggernaut is the Nuggets at 1 in the Northwest Division. But All right, so as we look at that, and a shout out to the Kings for doing better than the Suns, Clippers, Warriors, and Lakers. Of those 4 teams, though, Watkins, a lot of change for a lot of them. Kings, not a whole bunch of movement.
Yep.
Suns brought in Beal, said goodbye to Chris Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Clippers didn't do a ton. Might still maybe get James Harden, depending on how that shakes out. Warriors with sort of significant moves. We'll get into one of their moves later in the show, but the one that we know about for sure is CP3 coming in, Jordan Poole going out. And then the Lakers, I think, who had the best offseason out of any team in the league. Forget just division, forget just conference. The Lakers, out of those 4 teams, as we pose the question, and you can say who you're most fearful of, 916-339-1140. Again, 916-339-1140. Of those 4 teams, which poses the biggest threat to topple them, to take away the reigning champion title of the Pacific Division? Chris?
Yeah, I mean, regular season, it's really tough. In terms of just a blanket, which team scares me the most, it's Phoenix for, I feel like, pretty obvious reasons. Just their top-end talent is really, really scary. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are 3 of the best scorers in the NBA.
Yep.
And the Kings not specializing on the defensive end of the floor.
Oh, those games are going to be.
It's going to be first 1 to 130.
It's going to be like back in the
game.
NBA's gone through a bunch of different eras. They went through low scoring and then ridiculously high scoring and then low scoring again and then stupid high scoring. I feel like they found a nice little happy medium now, but it's going to be like, before the high score, before even my time, I think there was an era. It was, I want to say like late 80s where the scores where it was like 160, 159 regulation.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the type of track meet that those games are going to be. But so you got Suns at 1.
Yeah, I think the Suns at 1. Personally, the Lakers do scare me a lot. I mean, their injuries are probably going to be the thing.
If AD and LeBron are healthy, I would have them too.
Right. And that's a big if. I mean, that is a really, really big if, because at LeBron's advanced age and now he's starting to deal with some injuries as well. Anthony Davis's injury history is well chronicled.
Yep.
If those 2 guys aren't going, it's going to be big on the shoulders of Austin Reeves.
They're pretty deep now, though.
I love the Gabe Vincent addition. I think Austin Reeves is probably properly rated at this point, but he was so underrated throughout the end of last season, and I think he proved himself in the playoffs how valuable he is. Golden State really doesn't scare me too much. I think their age is gonna, in terms of just matching up with the Kings, I think it's going to be a problem. And also, I feel like the Kings were the better team last year, even in the playoffs, and just couldn't pull through because they didn't play well. So the Warriors don't really scare me. And then the Clippers, they're just, who even knows what the Clippers are going to be? You want to talk about injuries and you don't know what that team's going to look at.
Yeah.
Who knows if Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, both of those guys couldn't finish the season off last year because of injury. Who knows what they're going to look like? If they can stay healthy, absolutely. It can always be the Clippers year if they're healthy, but we just haven't seen it. And in totality, they have a really deep team, but if they don't have their 2 main guys, there's really not much bite to them.
Yeah, I think they've gotten to the point now where even if I guaranteed you 100% health for the whole team, I wouldn't be terribly scared of them. I think Kawhi is definitely on the downhill of his career. Sure. And I'm a huge Paul George guy, but I don't know. They just there's something about him where it's like
if they were healthy, I would be very afraid of them.
Yeah, see, I had that feeling, but it feels like it's been, I mean, I know it's only been like maybe 3 or 4 years, but it feels like it's been a decade, and they haven't really done any scaring at all. And I mean, the amount of games that both Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, which Ballmer obviously put a ton of money into, have actually played together is like, it's ridiculous. So in between that and the load management and all that stuff, I don't know. They don't scare me at all. The Lakers made a ton of moves. Like, it was almost, because they didn't make any major moves, they did sign Anthony Davis to a fat contract. And obviously LeBron is LeBron, and health has a lot to do with that. But yeah, between Hachimura and Prince, D'Angelo Russell they brought back, which I didn't think they would. Gabe Vincent, you talked about Austin Reeves. They're deep. And Cam Reddish, who I think has never really reached his full potential. I believe he was drafted to the Knicks, right?
Was, yes.
Out of Duke or North Carolina? Duke, I think.
Duke.
Yeah. So I would have them definitely as 2. Phoenix is going to have to play defense. They, Bradley Beal, not known as a stalwart. Booker's gotten a lot better. Durant, just because of his size, has never been a horrible defender. But they did add a bunch of guys who are quote-unquote ring chasing for like the league minimum just because they wanted to be on the Suns to kind of round out their roster. I remember a plethora of those signings coming down during, when free agency hit.
I like all the guys they signed, though. They, we can't forget about DeAndre Ayton. They still have Ayton at center.
I can't believe they kept. They got Beal and kept Ayton.
Yeah, and he could be moved at some point in the season if they
Very
want to get a
disgruntled.
different guy.
Yeah.
They add Yuta Watanabe. I loved him in Brooklyn last year. Josh Okogie. They just got a lot of really good role players. Can't forget about adding Eric Gordon as well. He's going to be that veteran presence. I really, really like what Phoenix has built. And, I think it's going to take them some time to kind of get adjusted to each other, especially with the scoring load that those three guys are gonna handle. It's going to take some time to adjust to figuring out, when to give everybody their fair share. But, when they start clicking, I think that team's going to be incredibly dangerous. I don't love the fact that they let go of Monty Williams this offseason.
Who got paid
he
in
got
Detroit.
paid and then some.
He got a Deshaun Watson deal in Detroit. Highest paid coach ever.
Yeah.
And then brought in Frank Vogel. I'm not sure how you feel about him, but I think they were trying to make up for their lack of defense by signing a defensive guy.
For sure.
Yeah, and then you rank the teams that you're worried about. Where do you have the Kings? Do you think that they're going to finish atop it?
I think there's a chance for sure. I think especially with just how seriously the Kings have took the regular season last year, if they want to continue to do that and have that same level of attention, I think it's a possibility. But there's also a larger possibility that these teams just kind of beat each other up, and it is going to be like 3 to 4 games separating them all again. Talent-wise, I think head to toe, the Kings have the depth to pull off winning the division again.
For sure,
but
yeah.
It's really tough when you're talking about, just the combination of stars that those other teams have. Like Fox and Sabonis probably even still would rank at the bottom of the top 2 dynamic duos of all those teams, whether you're talking, Booker and Durant, Clay and Steph, and Kawhi and Paul George. It's really tough. LeBron AD. It's just really tough to stack those guys against each other and feel like the Kings have the best option. But the Kings' depth could be where they make up the room there, because their 6th man being Malik Monk. Like other teams aren't, especially in the division, just aren't built the way that the Kings are.
And it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out in terms of the front office with Monty and the coaching staff with Brown, in terms of how much emphasis they put on the regular season, or do they have their eye more towards succeeding in the playoffs? But yeah, regardless, they are in, by far, in both of our opinions, the most loaded division in the Western Conference. Coming up next, getting to know you. I think I'm going to lead with, do you have a phobia? Chris is so down the middle. I could see him saying, I'm not really afraid of anything, but we'll all find out together as we get to know each other better. Fun in the 40s. I plead the 5th. Sactown Sports. You're listening to Zakariah and Chris Watkins right here, 1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned him down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at ooma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It ignites something inside of you. Lightning and the thunder. It's a new era in entertainment. Experience legendary performers like never before. All new and all incredible. This is the venue. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. I am Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. It's the end of summer blowout on all their systems. Right now, $2,500 off full systems, as low as $34 a week. And now American Energy Heating and Air offering a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units. Look, the uncomfortable becomes comfortable with American Energy Heating and Air. They've been around since 1981, making the greater Sacramento area proud with an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And as always, their goal is to exceed your expectations, exceed them of the heating and air industry, valuing the customer experience and making your home comfortable. It's that simple. Go to American Energy Heating and Air and get yourself a free Wi-Fi smart thermostat of your choice on high-efficiency units.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book your free appointment today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
It's a very ancient saying, but a true and honest thought, that if you become a teacher by your pupils...
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
You'll forgive me if I boast, and I've now become...
Oh, yes.
...on the subject of...
What did we figure out the name of the play is?
The King and I.
The King and I.
Yes.
Gotta remember that.
Yes, which I believe I watched in elementary school.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's... I think you're right. I think it's probably more recently from a commercial or something. Or a movie or a TV show. But yeah, definitely stuck in my head. But this is where we get to know each other. Coming up at the top of the hour at noon, the PM portion of your day. We're going to talk about something that you would never guess that we're going to talk about when it comes to the Giants and 49ers Thursday night football. Tonight, people, get your popcorn ready. We're going to cover an angle you're not ready for. You're not gonna get it anywhere other than Sactown Sports 1140. He is Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah. Right now, it's the 5th. I plead the 5th. Fun in the 40s. And this is the getting to know you. We're only going to do it for a week. We've been working together since Monday. I've learned some stuff about Chris. He's learned some stuff about me, and we'll continue to do that here. So I begin, Chris, with your favorite holiday.
Ooh, that's a good one.
On the board is pretty much anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Any and every holiday. It could be a random holiday. It could be President's Day. It could be
love a good President's
Valentine's Day. I think the high choices are either Christmas, Halloween, or Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve is up there.
For sure.
Yeah, like Memorial Day. People like it's in the summer.
Familiar.
Veterans Day, all that good stuff. So holiday-wise, where do you go?
Gotta go Christmas.
Christmas.
For just the most selfish reasons. I mean, who doesn't love getting gifts? Like, it's just the vibes are great. Like, I love how, it just feels like there is a Christmas time. There's a Christmas season. You go out, trees, you got the lights lining the streets.
Yeah.
It's just, it
holiday
feels,
specials.
It just feels like a hug. I don't know. Something about the Christmas season just feels
the
like
smell of the tree,
everything.
The wreath,
everything.
the lights.
All of it.
Not as many Christmas carols. You might get shot these
good.
days, but so I went through phases of my life. I'm 40, so we're on 39. So you can't really break it into, I guess you could, 13 years. It would definitely be Christmas, and then Halloween, and now I'm in the Thanksgiving portion of my life. Love Thanksgiving.
Okay.
See the family. I got nieces and nephews, and the food. I usually have 2 sets of huge meals.
You're a big mac and cheese guy, so that's probably a good day for you.
Mac and cheese. And my mother makes Yorkshire pudding. Have you ever had that?
No.
It is the drippings from roast beef.
Okay.
Mixed with like yeast or whatever it is. It's like basically like the most delicious piece of bread you've ever had.
Okay.
It also probably
wasn't a great sell job
clogs
there.
your arteries.
Drippings of it sounds good to me. Like
you
I can
mix
imagine
that in
how
with
it
the
tastes
rest
good,
of the
but
stuff, and it makes a bread.
drippings and yeast are not like
I know.
Those aren't like sexy words.
If you can't tell, I can't cook.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. I will. That'll be another 22-hour tease.
Sure.
I will get to the bottoms, to the bottom of the actual makings of it. But yeah, Thanksgiving would have to be mine. All right. How about this? This is an important one because I have a surefire answer.
Okay.
I can go first if you want me to filibuster. Flavor of candy. So it's not kind of candy. But like when it comes to Skittles or Starburst or popsicles
I don't know if I've given
or
that thought.
okay, well I'll filibuster for you.
Okay.
Orange. Without a doubt.
Okay.
Red is usually the most popular choice, which is
Red.
fine by me. Red. Because red
Like
can
we're
be
doing
strawberry.
Gatorade flavors? Yeah.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. Purple drank. No, because red can be a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just doing it by colors. I guess orange could be a lot of stuff too. But
Well, it's usually orange flavor.
yeah, exactly. But I guess it could be, I don't know. Anyways, orange is my choice on that. Purple is like grape. Red could
Usually,
be strawberry
Could be,
or raspberry or
even.
cherry.
Right.
Yeah.
There's tons of variety there.
So you got it. And then yellow is lemon.
Usually, almost always, yeah.
So I'm going to go orange. That's mine.
I think I would probably go, should I go color or should I go flavor?
Go color.
Okay, I'll go green. Yeah, I'll go green.
Yeah, you're an
because
apple guy.
It can be apple. It can sometimes be lime as well. Like I'm thinking of Skittles.
I like that.
Yeah. but
Underrated.
Sour Patch Kids.
I don't even
sure.
think I mentioned it.
Yeah.
Green.
So that's probably where I would go. But yeah, the sour apple I'm not huge on. So if something like, I know they used to sell like those sour apple caramel pops.
I was just going to mention that.
Those are
love those.
I used to love them when I was a kid, but I
Yeah.
feel like now it would just be like too overwhelming. Like that sour taste.
Yeah.
It's a bit much.
I'm
so.
a big sour guy. I
Yeah.
love Sour Patch Kids.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, these days, you get older.
gotta
It's
stay
like
away from candy
caramel.
these
It's just
days,
hard.
yeah.
The teeth,
Yeah,
it's hard to
impossible.
even navigate. You didn't care when you were a kid. All right. Do you have any phobias? Things that freak you out?
I don't want to just bring the show to a crashing halt, but probably just death in general. Like it's just like
big afraid of death
It's
guy.
just like I just think a lot of people do things and don't let that cross their mind. But it's like
Interesting.
people are like, hey, like let's whatever skydive even or cliff jump or I don't know, just
so you're not a big risk taker.
No, not really.
Understood.
Just calculated and roller coasters. I always got to vibe it out. I gotta maybe not go to all the rides at Six Flags. Definitely not at the fair, but like Disneyland, I'll trust because it's like how likely is it that Disney's going to kill you?
Interesting.
So, usually just not a big risk taker.
I'm one of those guys that says I'm not afraid of death, but I know when it's actually there, I will be terrified of it.
For sure.
But I just try not to think about it.
Yeah.
What's the phrase? Live like something or something like forever. Live like you'll die today. Anyways, there's a phrase like that.
Great.
But anyways, mine is kind of weird and abstract. So I am afraid of heights, but I'm not afraid. But I almost kind of like being afraid, so I'm okay with doing the heights thing.
Thrill seeker.
I was terrified of the dark when I was a kid, but here's my phobia.
Does anyone like the dark?
That's a good question. Aaron Rodgers had a dark retreat.
There you go.
Who knows? I don't think that anybody likes it, but I think there's a lot of people that are not afraid of it. Like I sleep with the TV on mainly because I like the light. I try to turn my eyes away from it because it's bad for your actual sleep. Anyways, this is random as hell. Have you seen A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe?
No.
So basically, the premise of it, well, spoiler alert, turn it down if you don't want to know the ending. It's I think it's 20 years old. But anyways, in the end, it finds out he's like schizophrenic and all the stuff that he thought he was doing for the FBI, he wasn't actually doing. It was all completely made up.
Gotcha.
And I watched it at my buddy's house. Again, Jesse Alter, same place where I saw Andre Ware's injury. And I had to sleep on the couch that night. I was going to drive home. I was like 16 years old. But I was worried that like everything around me was fake. So I had this fear of like being in the Truman world or something where like nothing is real or like you're seeing stuff. Yeah. And thankfully I'm not as far as I know.
As far as you know.
But that is, that's my phobia. So, very bad.
So your phobia is that you're actually crazy.
Exactly. Because you'll never really know. Okay. How do I know that you're not just lying to me and telling me that I'm not?
Yeah, I guess.
That poor guy thought he was working for the, you got to watch the movie. I mean, I spoiled it for you, but you got to watch it. All right, coming up. Top of the hour, more 49ers talk in an angle that I don't believe you're going to hear from any other radio station or show today. I can't promise that because there's a ton of podcasts out there and stuff like that, but we'll cover it from a different angle and get you ready for Thursday Night Football. You're listening to Chris Watkins, Zakariah, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to give coach options, give him guys that can help us win in a variety of areas. Obviously, our top guys are going to play every game, but there's going to be other times, whether it's injuries, matchups, we've got to have, some variety on the bench for coach to point to and say, go in there and help us win.
Tune into every Kings game this season
on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I had terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less, because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Ready for a sizzling football season? Take your game day parties to the next level with Napoleon Prestige Grills from Green Acres Nursery and Supply. Fire up the grill and score big with mouthwatering burgers, juicy steaks, and finger-licking wings. Napoleon Prestige Grills bring the heat and come complete with a lifetime warranty. Get your ultimate game day companion today. Visit your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply and elevate your tailgate experience with Napoleon Prestige Grills. Green Acres Nursery and Supply, your one-stop shop for grilling greatness this football season. Visit idiggreenacres.com for the store near you. Game on!
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTK AM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Welcome back, Sacramento, to the PM portion of your day. We just hit noon. It is Sactown Sports 1140. I am Zakariah. He is Chris Watkins. We are 2 hours in the books. 2 more to go, Chris. Halftime. We got our Gatorade, halftime speech, all that good stuff, ready to rock. Give you 2 more hours leading into a Whitey at 2 o'clock and getting you set and primed and ready. We're carrying that game as the home of the San Francisco 49ers. So how long does that make Whitey's show?
2.5 hours. It'll be from 2 to 4:30, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then, just listen all the way through. Are you one of those guys that do you turn the volume down on the TV and listen to the radio, or are you listening to the TV commentator kind of guy?
I usually will listen to TV, but I don't like to have it too loud unless it gets towards crunch time. Then come crunch time, I really want to be engulfed in the action. I want to feel the crowd, all that stuff. So I'll turn it up late in the game if it's close, but for the most part, it's pretty quiet on my end.
For sure. So unfortunately, across the board, and coming up at 12:15, we're going to hear from the one, the only Nick Bosa. It's almost like his sound bites are so frat bro-ish.
Yes, I agree.
If he delivered it in any other fashion, you would say he's not the best soundbite. But I actually thoroughly enjoy them because they're so far on the side of bro-ish. Can't really think of any other way to describe it.
He's a funny guy. He just all I would say is he's definitely a football player. He lives, breathes, and dies football, and that is very clear from the way he talks.
Yeah, not a guy that I could see reading the international
not
section
doing
of
Shakespeare
the
anytime
newspaper.
soon.
Yeah.
No.
Which
but he's great at what he does.
Exactly.
So that's all he found what he was brought on this planet to do. And that's what's important.
And a lot of complicated people would tell you that they kind of envy. Part of them envies the simple people.
Absolutely.
I wish not to call him a simpleton, but he seems like a guy who knows what he likes and sticks to that. And some people admire that about other people.
I wish I could.
Whatever makes you happy, right? So we'll do that at 12:15. We'll hear from the highly paid man coming up then. But right now, let's get back into the game. A lot of reasons why the Niners should win this game comfortably. I'm sure Niners fans feel comfortable about it. Next week should be similar as well. And a lot of people already looking. I heard about this at halftime I guess the Rams-Niners games, they didn't really pull away until later. But certainly afterwards, Chris, a lot of people already talking about the showdown that might be 2 undefeated teams between the Cowboys and the Niners.
Can't wait.
But we can't afford to do that. We got to talk about the here and now. And in terms of this game, I read a bunch of articles leading into this again, searching, grabbing, trying my best, trying to find anything and everything that would lead me towards why this might be a close game. And even all the Giants pundits, the Giants fans, pretty much everybody outside of the organization and the locker room, which might also be waving the white flag, but everybody is picking the Niners. I could not find one person either covering the Niners or the Giants that not only picked the Giants, but even picked the Niners in a close one. Pretty much everybody's predicted a blowout.
Yeah, I mean, and it's for pretty I don't want to say obvious reasons, but the fact that Saquon's out and their line is down and the Niners have played so well this season and the Giants barely started scoring until the second half of last game. It's not hard to figure out why. And it's going to be a tough path for them. And not even to mention the fact that, it's going to be the Niners home opener as well for the season. So it's just going to be the most uphill of battles for the Giants tonight for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, who knows, again, any given Thursday, I think more specifically,
Right.
if this was a Sunday 1:00 game, unless that meant that Barkley was going to return, I could envision a scenario in which the Giants could keep it close. But, a big reason why the Niners are one of the best teams in the NFL is because they can beat you in different ways.
Right.
And I think the Rams kind of found, because I think the Rams went in with a good offensive game plan. I think they scored 17 points on their first 3 possessions.
Yep.
In the first half. Part of that's McVay drawing up scripted plays, which always helps them. But it just, as the game went on, the Niners can beat you with the run. McCaffrey had a $116 on 20 carries. They can beat you with the pass. 5 different receivers finished with at least 3 catches. And then if that's not enough, the defense in the second half of that game was suffocating.
It was incredible.
And a big part of that game, number one, the 2 things that stood out, number one were the turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Rams had them. Niners didn't.
Yep.
And then almost the moxie or the confidence of Shanahan versus McVay, most specifically when the Niners went for it with no time left in the first half, and when McVay did not go for it on 4th and 2, I believe, at midfield.
Yeah.
Tried to draw them off sides, but didn't go for it.
I mean, they've looked great this season. And I mean, to me, the big thing has been the turnovers. Like you said, they've just they've dominated the turnover battle these first 2 games and have even left some opportunities out there to even extend that turnover lead. And that's, I said it earlier, to me, that's the only way that the Giants can really have a hope for tonight's game is if they can force Brock Purdy into some turnovers, if they can, maybe force a fumble or 2 out of the 49ers
special teams
players,
or something.
Special teams plays, who knows? Yeah, maybe you get a muff punt or something. The Giants are going to try and have to get as many bounces of the ball to go their way as possible tonight. And just make the Niners look like a team that they haven't looked like all season long, which, possibly if there's any week it's going to happen, it's going to be on a short week, I guess. But, just there's a lot of things working in the Niners' favor this week. Today, I should say.
And also in the pre-show meeting, just to keep adding, gasoline onto the fire, even if they get a stop, one of the Niners' bright spots, maybe one of the question marks going into the season.
Right.
Moving on in the kicker position, drafting a rookie. I've heard, you and Whitey joke about it. It seems like Whitey's more interested in talking about it than you. But even that is an area. Even if the Giants should hold them, for a long field goal or a medium range field goal, the Niners seem to be doing well there too.
It don't matter because Jake Moody has been, as Whitey likes to call him, Money Moody. He has been absolutely incredible all season long. Hasn't missed a kick, which has been shocking because, in preseason.
He didn't have the great, preseason and in college.
He was terrible in preseason. It was really, really rough to watch. It was scary. He was missing extra points. He was missing chip shots, and even the ones he was making, it was just a sketchy. It was just everything you wouldn't want to see, frankly, from a kicker. Not to mention the fact that he was a 3rd-round pick at kicker. It was a rough start to his career, but since he's came or since the regular season has came, he's been incredible. He's made all 12 of his kicks so far. And it was a really big question heading into the season, how he would perform. Even from college, he was incredible on extra points, was incredible inside of 40 yards. But I just had to do the math here. In college, from 40 plus out, he was 17 of 28 in his career. Not great, especially not from a guy that's taken in the 3rd round as a top kicker in the draft. So
100%.
There was a lot of legitimate questions about whether or not the 49ers made a mistake by addressing the kicker position, especially when Robbie Gould was about as automatic as you can get. And Moody has really silenced all of those critics. Hasn't had to kick at home yet since the preseason, so I guess that's kind of the final hurdle to leap over. But he was really good. Hit 3 kicks, I believe, last week. Hit 3 kicks, I believe, in the first week. And he's been automatic, which is just a welcome sight for the 49ers for sure.
Yeah.
Something that could have tanked them. I mean, if you have a bad kicker, I'm telling you right now.
Were you surprised? I was pretty surprised that they made that switch. Because to me, that's a pretty risky. I mean, again, right now, looking like it's just fine.
Right.
But I would hate for that to be.
That could be the thing that ends the season.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
it's a really risky
It's
proposition.
not a place that you really want to roll the dice on.
No, not when you're trying to win Super Bowls, to go from pretty much the most automatic guy that you could have. I don't think Robbie Gould has missed a postseason kick. To go from that to a rookie who, again, has some legitimate questions about how accurate he is from 40 plus, it's worked out so far, but it's definitely still something that you would just hate to see completely derail the season because you took a risk on a kicker.
Yeah, and the other ways that the Giants have found themselves to be successful is a lot in the short game, and that's where the Niners can really close in on, because I think the Giants last year was almost one of those snuck up on you type of deals, didn't necessarily have the highest expectations for them. Yeah. And I mean, we've kind of made that comparison with the Kings a little bit different, but people are going to see them coming. And then last year with the Giants not only making the playoffs, but winning in Minnesota. And then now this year, I think they've got a tape. They didn't make a whole bunch of changes in terms of their personnel. Yeah. And I'm sure the Niners are going to be ready for them. So, we'll see how it all plays out down there ultimately. And again, any given Sunday, you never know. But I was just looking, again, trying, finding, hoping, scraping, bottom of the barrel. There have not been a lot of upsets this year in the NFL. There isn't even a game that I can point to outside of the first game of the season where and that's not even a huge upset because people were pretty high on the Lions, but the Lions beating the Chiefs. And then I had a second one that I already lost. But for the most part, it's been chalk.
Right.
I mean, I don't know exactly about the spreads.
In hindsight, it's been chalk because it's like, the Browns beating the brakes off the Bengals week 1. That was surprising. And, the Seahawks bouncing back last week and beating the Lions. That was
that was my other one. That was my other one. The Rams beating the Seahawks in Seattle.
Yeah.
Even that's not a huge one. And, I mean, again, Vegas knew something that we didn't know because I would have thought the Bengals would have easily won that Browns game, but I believe it was a pick 'em. And then the Browns ended up winning handily where, Burrow just hasn't looked right all year. But, there's not even a lot of games where I can point to and go, see, Giants fans, this team did that, And I think it'll be a lot closer to the 40-0 beatdown that the Cowboys put on the Giants, just in terms of looking at the teams. I mean, there's a lot more similarities to the Cowboys to the Niners than there is to the, for the Cardinals to the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's why they play the games. You got to let us see it all play out. And, I'm hoping for at least a competitive game. I don't want it to be completely one-sided and us just talking, talking about
another
a blowout
week in the
and
books,
handing out flowers all day tomorrow. Yeah. But I think for the most part, like I said, I try to read both the columns from our fantastic set of writers here in the Bay Area, but then I also try to read what they're saying.
Don't call Sacramento the Bay Area.
In other
towns.
Get
caught up.
I'm sorry. In northern,
you might get caught up. I'm trying
Northern
to help
California.
you dodge that bullet.
I appreciate
There's
it.
tons of people who get real riled.
I know. I got to switch it to Northern California, but in Northern California, and then I try to read from the guys that write, from the opposing team and up and down. One guy said literally his first sentence for predicting the game. Well, I shouldn't say literally because I don't have it exactly, but it was basically along the lines of there is no way the Giants win this game. And then I think the following sentence was there's a very small chance they even make it competitive.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see because I've seen before when you watch those pregame shows on CBS or Fox.
When everyone picks one team.
Exactly. And then somebody screenshots it. And the other team ends up winning. So we'll see. And maybe they're riding the momentum from the second half.
Yeah.
But there's just too many things, and we've gone over it in terms of how good and even sort of underachieving, if you want to call it that, the Niners' defensive line is.
Yep.
And then the Giants' offensive line, just banged up in areas where I think a lot of those guys are going to be licking their chops. On top of that, a rabid fan base that is still shaking off last year and has begun this year 2-0 on the road. Lots of teams, both games on the road. I was looking at that. There's a lot of home openers in week 3, which I guess that's the way the schedule works out somehow. But I was surprised. I don't remember seeing that many. Maybe it's just because it's right here, home of the Niners. So maybe it stuck out more. But I can't remember seeing this many teams with home openers in week 3. All right, coming up next, We will hear from the one, the only, another reason amongst many reasons why the Niners and the Niners fans should feel good about tonight's game. But we'll hear from the newly minted contract individual, that one and only Nick Bosa, his game plan, what he thinks is going to be the key for the Niners win tonight. We'll do that next. You're listening to Zakariah, Chris Watkins right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast will include hazy sunshine, an occasional north breeze, and temperatures this afternoon down slightly. Daytime highs expected in the lower 80s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento this Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's this Saturday only, September 23rd. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
When every shot counts, the professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio encourage you to try the brand new Titleist T-Series irons. Irons designed to enhance your play through control, distance, flight, forgiveness, looks, sound, and feel. With 4 T-Series models, the fitting team at Hagen Oaks will find the perfect Titleist T-Series iron for you. Call 916-808-2531 to find your fit today. Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway, or online at hagenoaks.com.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award? Can the Kings exceed 48 wins?
We will be better prepared to make the run that we expect to run come next playoff.
Tune into every Kings game this season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com. It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Chris Watkins and Zakariah here on Sactown Sports 1140. Join the program either via call or text 916-339-1140. You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports, all that good stuff. I'm on Twitter at Zach Sports. ZAK Sports. He's at Chris M. Watkins. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, there are 9 0-2 teams. There are 9 2-0 teams. I'm always are you a good news or bad news first kind of guy?
Probably good news first.
Really?
I think so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think most people are bad news first. I'm a bad
I'd
news
probably get stuck on the bad news too much. So
you want to enjoy the good news.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. But we will start with the bad news. We'll go with the panic meter for the 0-2 teams. We'll go down the list of the 9 that are 0-2. Thankfully, the Niners are not one of them. And as we get into this game a little bit more, some notes just to look at. You know, the Niners are so balanced on offense, and while they rank in the top echelon in terms of rushing, they're not as high in the passing, but it's because they really haven't needed to. And in terms of just showing some numbers on how balanced they are, Purdy is in the shotgun 62% of the time, and he's in 21 personnel. For those that don't know, 21 personnel, it's when they send out 2 running backs and 1 tight end. And then, 11 personnel is 1 running back, 1 tight end, and 3 wide receivers, so on and so forth. But Purdy is in the shotgun 62% of the time. 21 personnel is the Niners' primary package. They use it 43% of the time, and they use 11 42% of the time, and they use a 22 personnel 8% of the time. So they're not heavy one way or the other. It's not as if when you go against the team, it's, a lot of times people will say stop the run. Mm-hmm. You can try to stop the run against them, but it's not as if they can't do the passing. I think they really go into it, and that's what makes Purdy so good. Is he doesn't need to be this standout guy that's going to wow you with Dante Culpepper, just to use a reference from, but he doesn't need to have these wow you Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss plays.
Right.
His ability is to read the defense, make audibles at the line, and then make the proper read, get it out with precision. And even in the times when the play breaks down, he's shown that he can use his legs.
Yep.
And that's how that's how they're so successsul.
Yeah.
Since he took over.
He's been great. I mean, it's really, you pointed out, I mean, this offense is definitely based off of yak, like a lot of just get guys the ball with space to move and to make plays. And, the 49ers have really built their offensive weapons around that. I mean, it's what makes George Kittle so great, Deebo Samuel after the run, and then you add Christian McCaffrey to that mix as well. They're just so dangerous in open field that it's so tough to try and play, make sure everyone's covered in man coverage, but then at the same time, make sure that there's still some safety blankets out there so that you can try and stop them from gaining yards after the catch. So it's a really tough balance to try and go against them, but that's what makes them so lethal and so tough to stop. Is it's a pick your poison kind of offense to go against, and you really got to try and just live with something that they're going to do.
Yeah, and before we sort of reveal what the Niners are going to try to accomplish tonight in terms of their game plan and hear from the newly minted man, Nick Bosa, I also think that this is, and that's what makes last year, not to harp on it and keep bringing it up, but it's kind of impossible not to, but last year so frustrating is that you kind of get the sense, not only from the organization and the coach and the teammates, it's not that there weren't a lot of people that loved Garoppolo in the building or had hopes for Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. All these guys are going to always talk up their QBs.
Right.
But it feels different with Purdy. I feel like the look in the eye of Kyle Shanahan is different, and you've seen how badly, I don't know if he hasn't said anything specifically, but you can tell Shanahan was not a huge fan of Garoppolo.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some combative nature between the two, Jimmy and Kyle. It definitely seems like that wasn't a perfect marriage, and Jimmy has definitely been more vocal about it, I think, since he's landed in Vegas, more throwing subtle shots. Like, it's just nice to be in an offense where I have a say in what's going on, and it's been really great to collaborate with Josh McDaniel, because that's just not something I've been afforded these past couple of years. So you can tell that there's just a different relationship with how he views Purdy now. I mean, calling him the real deal and reassuring time after time that even when everyone was trying to make it a quarterback controversy, they at every stop were like, this is Brock's team.
Yeah.
And I think it is just the level of confidence in which Brock carries himself with, but also you mentioned just what he's been able to do with diagnosing defenses and getting them into the right play and always seemingly throwing it to the right guy. You could see how Shanahan would just love it. I mean, he does exactly what Kyle would want him to do, and no more, no less. And I think right now it's a perfect marriage for what Kyle's looking for, but we'll see if that continues. There's no reason to think it won't, but that's what I'm so interested not to, you said earlier, we shouldn't look forward to that Cowboys game, but to me, that's what's so entertaining about what might happen in that game is just, that's going to be the first time since the playoffs really where Purdy is going to be challenged at an incredibly high level, and just to see what it looks like if maybe the Niners are even down in a game. Can Brock Purdy lead them in a comeback? Is really the next step in his career, improving everybody wrong who even still doubts him.
Yeah, and just to put a little finishing touch on that, just to emphasize that I don't think Shanahan and Garoppolo were really each other's guys, is also Garoppolo said something along the lines of, it's weird up there when the Trey Lance deal happened, and Shanahan's answer was, he was like, he's in Vegas, we're here. I don't know why he said that, but like, it was cutthroat. Like you could tell it was not a very amicable separation. But let's get to do you want to set this up? You can go ahead and talk. I mean, just in terms of what the general game plan is from the defensive side for the Niners. Obviously, probably amplified with Saquon Barkley. But you go ahead, set it up, and toss to Bosa.
Yeah, so, I mean, pretty much, the 49ers, I've said it. I think that their main goal for tonight is just to get to Daniel Jones, knowing Saquon's not going to play. You have to assume the Giants are going to be a little bit more pass-friendly than what they usually are. And the 49ers know that, and especially someone who knows that is Nick Bosa. And here's what he had to say about their game plan for getting to Daniel Jones.
Definitely, yeah, it's going to be pretty much opposite of what we just did with Stafford. Definitely could hold it a little bit, and we just have to keep him in the pocket. He's going to try and get out any chance he gets. So, just trying to close it in on him, be good in our rush lanes, and we could have a good day.
Yeah, so I mean, we were talking a lot about how Bosa isn't, he lives, dies, and breathes football, and that's pretty much what he knows. And he had this interesting note about Daniel Jones that he's a man who does his research, and he says he saw a stat that if you keep Daniel Jones under 60%, Daniel Jones is 0-9 when he completes under 60% of his passes. So Bosa says pretty much if we can pressure him and pressure him a lot and keep his completion percentage down, I think we have a pretty good chance. So I definitely see that being the key for tonight's game, is just that 49ers pass rush actually getting home tonight and picking up a couple sacks and keeping Daniel Jones hyper aware of the pressure that those guys can force.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones has shown that he can be very effective using his legs. The problem for him is he going to even be able to get to the point? Is he going to get to the level where he can use that? And even then,
Niners got athletes on defense.
The linebacker,
so he's not going to be able to run away from those.
And the closing speed for those guys means that even if he is able to get past that first wave, you got a couple of other waves coming for you right after.
Exactly.
So I think, again, we mentioned that possibly one of the areas where you can exploit the Niners would be passing. And so I think if Daniel Jones is going to do it, they're going to have to do a miraculous job protecting him.
Yep.
And he's going to not, realize that he's not going to be able to rely so much on his legs, and he's just going to have to do it through the air. And that's really the only shot that I think the Giants have, is making this a track meet. And like you said, having things fall their way, turnover wise, balls bouncing wise, referee, bad calls.
Yeah,
wise,
bad calls. Absolutely.
Anything like that. So again, everybody getting ready for Thursday night football. The Niners will be in the spotlight, and Daniel Jones has not been so good in the spotlight, 1-10, but everybody's getting ready for that game. Coming up next, we will talk about the NFL at large panic meter for the 0-2 teams. There are 9 of them. There are 9 2-0 teams. We'll get to them later in the show. But right now, what should the panic meter be for all 9 0-2 teams in the NFL? We'll tackle that and much more. You can join the show, 916-339-1140. It is Zakariah and Chris Watkins right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
If that sound gives you nightmares, there's a cheap and easy way to avoid engines not firing. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Pour Stable in your gas can or directly into the tank of your car, truck, hybrid, boat, ATV, motorcycle, or lawnmower to prevent fuel-related engine problems that cost time and money. When you store, start with Stable.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916 520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
The Amish have a reputation for craftsmanship, determination, and quality. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. You know, those virtues sound quite similar to the Keys family and the day-to-day values on display at Naturewood. The Amish furniture craftsmanship begins with the finest hardwood, shaping and molding the raw materials into one-of-a-kind art. In addition to the classic styles long sought and revered by discriminating furniture lovers, Naturewood Home Furnishings offers a vast selection that includes transitional, modern, farmhouse, arts and crafts, and other stunning styles, all available in the ultimate Amish standard of excellence built over centuries. All Naturewood Amish furniture is on sale right now for a limited time. Let the Naturewood team guide you through their selection of Amish furniture that will be with you forever. Naturewood Home Furnishings off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
In 916-339-1140 is where you do so. We're on YouTube. Just search Sactown Sports. We spoke with Lincoln Kennedy in the 10 o'clock hour, and all of our guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Chris, there are 9, count them 9, 0-2 teams. One of them we've been talking about a lot, not because we have some sort of weird affinity for Arizona sports, but because the team that the Niners are playing tonight, their last opponent, were the Arizona Cardinals, who, despite giving a big fat contract to Kyler Murray, who the A's wasted a 4th overall draft pick on, did. Not that that is a thorn in my side or anything. We're actually talking about him maybe going back to baseball, which the A's would have his rights if they do.
Definitely should.
Despite him getting a life-changing contract, he's had issues with watching too much video games, not being in the playbook, that being part of his contract, them then removing it because it was too embarrassing, them firing the coach after giving him a contract. But they were a team that seemed to be the most likely to get the first pick. The old, what is it, choke for Caleb? Or
let's try to make up something. Yeah, there you go. I was like, you gotta have something that like alliteration usually works, but it's got to be something clever with the name.
So they were one of the teams that a lot of people were talking about that, and I don't know if you've seen, but his dad came out and said if the situation isn't right, he'll go back to USC.
Yeah, he's not struggling.
I would call that bluff because you don't want to risk injury or anything else. But they had a big lead at half, and then all of a sudden blew it. So the panic meter, you would say, for what? I mean, is it even a panic meter if you want to lose?
Well, that's the thing is like, there's no panic at all. I mean,
pretend they were trying to win. Where would you put it?
They're taking their time. I mean,
they're not good.
They're just not good. I mean, there's no sense of if they were trying to win, they're not doing a very good job of trying.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Dobbs has been surprisingly good. You look at their point differential, they only are -7 in the point differential department, and of course, they had a big lead on the Giants. Probably should have been able to put them away. But I think all in all, they've looked pretty well for a team that really should be the worst team in the NFL. So, I would actually put their panic meter at like a 1 or a 2 right now, because if you can still have success while you're not even really trying to, I think that's in a weird way somehow a positive for Arizona. So I think for the Cardinals, I think they've had a fine season if we're grading it on a scale.
I think it's working out perfectly for them right now.
Yeah.
Be competitive.
Yep.
Get better, but lose that game.
Yes, exactly.
Make sure you don't win that game.
They've done a great job of doing that.
That would have been my rah-rah speech at halftime. Gentlemen, great
Guys,
stuff.
We're up 20, looking great.
Love it.
Let's stop it.
Exactly. Well, no.
Let's cut it out.
Continue to get better, but need you to lose. Okay. And they did just that. So, yeah, I mean, I think the panic meter is 0 because this is what they want. But if they were trying to win, I would put it high because they're not really that good. But
They
yeah,
got no shot.
show that you're feisty, show that you're competitive, and let's go get that quarterback for next year. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how they're not going to be drastically affected by Murray. I mean, maybe they're planning on drafting a guy and having him sit behind Murray for a couple of years. He's going to have a weird career. It'd be very interesting to see how he looks when he comes back from injury. All right. Carolina Panthers also 0-2.
Yikes.
Had the first overall pick, Bryce Young.
He will be missing Sunday, by the way. Adam Schefter just put that
officially out.
Andy Dalton will be starting for the Carolina Panthers this weekend.
Aha. All right. Where would
I don't
you
know
put
if that changes your answer at all, but
No. Well, I mean, he is a part of reason why my panic meter would be high.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the Panthers necessarily assumed, because I really like Frank Wright as the head coach. I don't think they assumed week 1. I mean, they did sign Miles Sanders,
sure,
which would kind of put you in a win now mode. But I don't think that. I don't think they would have been shocked as long as they were competitive or around 500 and missed the playoffs. I think they'd be happy in Bryce Young's first year. But my panic meter is high, Chris, because I worry about his height. His as you just said, he's already going to be hurt,
right?
And they had those videos and pictures of him being absolutely just swarmed by his own offensive line. You can't even see him,
right?
And I just don't know if he's going to be I like the kid. I like his football IQ, if you will. I like his demeanor and his personality. I think he has the work ethic from what I can see. I have no idea, but he doesn't strike me as a guy that's aloof. But I don't know if he is built literally to succeed in the NFL.
Yeah, that's the most concerning thing is his size is just it's concerning. And the Carolina Panthers themselves, I don't love the talent that they have. Their defense is still stacked with some good talent, but how much longer are they going to keep those guys around? And if you're looking around at the other rookie quarterbacks, yours is the one that so far has looked the worst. I mean, Anthony Richardson hasn't been able to finish a game, but his running ability has been as advertised, and his arm is definitely something you can work with. And then CJ Stroud last week threw 380 plus yards. It's tough when the other guys that you picked or that you picked a guy instead of those other ones, and your guy has looked the worst. And he brings in the questions about size and height, which just aren't going anywhere. You have to be really concerned if you're a Panthers fan. I just don't know when you see the possibility of this thing turning around. And, I guess the best hope for them is just, again, kind of like the Cardinals, just continue to lean into losing.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to hope that the answers for quarterback and coaching staff is a long-term fix. But in terms of the other stuff, specifically the offensive line and the wide receiver core, I mean, that's not something Bryce can do on his own. I mean, yeah, you want them to look better. But, yeah, I would say that the panic level for this year should be low. Panic level in terms of whether or not Bryce Young can be that guy, both
Pretty
in
high.
terms of, I would say pretty
I'd probably
high.
7.5, 8
Yeah.
is where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And it's only week 2.
Yeah,
but,
I think that's fair. But, yeah, he's already missing week 3.
Yep.
The Bengals, a team I don't think anybody thought we'd be talking any sort of panic meter, but they're 0-2.
Yep.
And I'll go first here. It's shockingly high for me just in terms of this season. I am a Burrow believer. I don't think that there are many people out there that are not. But that calf strain, and they tried to downplay it. And I don't, I think we said this yesterday. I would have sat him out longer rather than trying to rush him out there. Or I don't know if they rushed him out there. Of course, he's going to want to play. And I'm sure the medical staff did everything to make sure that he was good to go.
Yeah.
But for this season, he doesn't look right, Chris. He did not look right. And I don't care. You can point to the soggy conditions in terms of the field in week 1.
Not an excuse.
And week 2, they looked a little better. But after the game, I don't know if there's an update on his status. But in terms of this year, my panic meter is a 10. Long term, very little. I think they kind of need a reboot, a restart for next year.
Yeah, I definitely have mine at like a 9.5. And the only hope is that just maybe Joe Burrow is so great that when he does come back, if he does miss some time, that he turns it around completely. And, the Bengals are capable as a team of rattling off a good win streak. But, obviously the bigger hole that they dig is going to be tough to get out of. And then in that AFC North, you have the toughest competitors to try and fight against. So I guess maybe the Bengals' hope is that their division kind of beats each other up, and that allows them to kind of gain some ground. But right now it's looking with the 0-2 start and with Joe Burrow at the very least banged up. It's really, really bleak for the Bengals right now.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. We talked about how that might be the best division. That's when we were talking basketball. And
right.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the last division you can, maybe in some of those other ones, but that's the last one you can afford to get off at an 0-2 start. And again, we have no idea if Burrow's going to get back to even close to 100%. All right, the Bears all up in the news. You broke the news here. Well, you didn't break it, but you mentioned that that Fields had sort of alluded to the fact that coaching might have been part of the issue of why the Bears have struggled so bad. I think me and you are going to be in agreement that it's somewhere between 9 and 10 in terms of the panic meter, because again, so quickly from last year, Fields showing a ton of promise to all of a sudden it feels like I can't really see him being a successful quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah,
and that was quick.
Scary.
Usually you get, and it's not to say that they're not going to give him a longer leash. Perhaps they will, but I can't see him getting to that point unless he finds some sort of confidence.
Yeah, video did surface today of Justin Fields hugging his, I believe it was his offensive coordinator. So I guess. I
think that was overblown.
Yeah, for sure. It does remind me a little bit of like Dwight Howard hugging Stan Van Gundy in the middle of his press conference. It didn't seem this hug didn't seem forced, but it was just I don't know.
I don't think he was actually blaming the coach. I think what he was more trying to say is that there's so much stuff going through his head that he's not playing comfortably.
Sure.
I don't think by any stretch he was calling out the coaching staff, but I think he knew he's in the Chicago media landscape, so he had to get out in front and make sure that it was clear. I didn't take that as him being frustrated with the coaches.
Yeah, I mean,
more just that he's in his own head and he needs to play more free.
Right. Regardless, there is definitely things to worry about if you're in Chicago, and you're right. I definitely have this panic meter at like a 10, because if Justin Fields isn't your guy, it's just add him to the list of Chicago Bears quarterbacks that have just not worked out for them. It doesn't seem like that franchise is ever going to figure out that position, which is now the most important position possibly in sports. So I mean,
even when they won it all, their quarterback was not the reason why.
Yeah, and there's
Jim McMahon.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even when they reached the Super Bowl in against Peyton Manning, that wasn't
Cutler. Who was
Robbie?
No, Robbie Gold was a kicker.
I almost called him Robbie Grossman.
Rex Grossman.
Rex Grossman.
Rex.
Yeah, I mean, even then, it was with their defense and with Devin Hester as well. So, yeah, I mean that organization has just never been able to figure out that position. And yeah, I mean, it just add them to the list of Mitchell Trubisky, Jay Cutler, Kyle Orton. The list goes on and on of failed Chicago Bears quarterbacks, and it seems like Justin Fields might be added to that list. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, there's really not much of anything to be excited about. I'm not a big DJ Moore guy, so I don't think their receiving core is very good. Their running back core isn't very good. They already traded Khalil Mack, who was their big standout on defense. So if you're a Chicago Bears fan, I don't know what you have to look forward to.
Yeah, I'm going to add that to my list of things that I'm going to do in my spare time.
Yeah, look at Chicago Bears quarterbacks.
Well, no, I'm going to do just the franchise with the worst list of quarterbacks of all time.
It's them.
Yeah,
it's definitely them.
Because, yeah, you can't even really – I mean, Jay Cutler's got to be at the top of your list.
Jay Cutler's probably the best quarterback that they have had in the 2000s.
And that's not good.
No, it's not.
All right, coming up next, it is Fun in the 40s. I plead the fifth. We have some sound of – I'm not going to make too much fun of this scenario because – actually, I did pretty good with my attempt at a name that I didn't know exactly how to say, but a guy who's been doing this for a long time and probably should have a paid staff making sure that he gets it phonetically correct. We'll have fun with that and much, much more around the wacky world of sports. You're listening to C-Dub, Chris Watkins, and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Fall is here, and Good Guys Heating and Cooling wants to make sure you're taken care of through the month of September. From now until September 30th, book any tune-up or troubleshooting appointment and get 100% of the trip charge credited back on any completed repairs. Normal big box companies charge $89 or more. Why not put that toward what needs to be fixed? Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now at 530-GOOD-AIR. That's 530-GOOD-AIR. Or book your appointment now at goodguysheatingcooling.com. Best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull. License number 1057618.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, as always, of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram. What's happening, Chad, for Ram Power Days?
Right now, save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorns, or get 0% financing for 72 months. Plus, save up to $8,000 off MSRP. No matter what you do, you're going to save thousands, but you better hurry in because that 0% won't last long.
0% financing? That's amazing.
Even I was surprised when I saw that. Plus, you can save up to $17,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Ram 1500 Limiteds too. No matter what you get, there's money to be saved at Hoblet.
This huge savings won't last long. Hurry into the Hoblet Ram Truck Center or see their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$8,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 72 months on select new 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn after $8,000 dealer discounts on approved credit through Chrysler Capital. Must have 700 plus FICO score to qualify. No down payment required. Equals $1,389 per thousand borrowed. Or $12,000 total net savings after $6,500 factory rebates plus $5,500 dealer discounts. 10 each net savings. $17,000 total net savings after $91.17 factory rebates and $78.83 dealer discounts. Sample VIN 665579. Rebates may include $1,000 case construction cash. Must pre-purchase of eligible case equipment to qualify. And $500 first responder cash for current members of eligible first responder associations.
As a mom, I'd do anything to keep my child out of physical pain. As a doctor, I know that growth spurts can cause pain in my child's feet, and that can affect their legs and back too.
This is Dr. Pamela Maida, a board-certified orthopedic surgeon.
Children especially benefit from arch supports as a sturdy and supportive foundation for their developing feet. If your kids have pain, then I recommend Youth Arch Supports from the Good Feet store.
Youth Arch Supports are designed to alleviate, even eliminate common pain in the feet, knees, hip, or back. If your child is physically active with sports, clubs, or even on the playground, they may benefit from the comfort and support found in Good Feet Youth Arch Supports.
I firmly believe that investing in Youth Arch Supports for your child or teen is one of the best decisions you can make to support their feet.
See how Youth Arch Supports can help with a free arch support fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Buster? It's got to be Buster, right?
Too young.
I want to say Buster. Buster Rhymes. Love that guy. Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah, top of the hour. Something that Daniel Jones did in week 2 that no quarterback in the history of the NFL has ever done.
Really?
Yeah. I saw one that also Mike Vick did. This one he stands alone with. And it's not terribly obscure. Put it like this. When I saw it, I figured somebody else had to have done it.
So it's not one of those like
not totally
cherry pick stat where he's the first person ever
wearing
throw for
green
200.
socks.
On Thursday Night Football in the rain.
No, it's legit.
Okay.
It's legit. So we'll get to that. And also,
if it's against the Cardinals, it's kind of legit.
Yeah, that's true. Caveat against the team that's actively tanking. Yeah. But no, still, nonetheless, I would have thought it would have happened before. But we'll get to that. And we'll get you ready for Thursday Night Football. But right now, we all plead the fifth. Yeah. It is fun in the 40s. And Mad Dog Russo is the gift that keeps on giving. Legendary New York radio host, Chris, but has sort of resurfaced.
Right.
Been rejuvenized, if you will, thanks to, Stephen A. Smith has that effect on people. But Russo's still big in New York. I think he moved to Sirius because it was Mike and the Mad Dog. That was with Francesa and him. And then he did his own thing with Sirius. And then now he's still doing that, I believe, but he also joins Stephen A. Smith on First Take. And this is when you get to a certain age, Chris, and you're a long ways away.
I hope so.
But you get to a certain age, and it's that I don't give a bleep age.
I think I'm there.
You don't give a
I feel like I'm already there.
Really? Yeah. Well, you don't give a bleep when you're a toddler. You don't give a bleep really like in your early 20s.
Yeah.
And there's a long period of time where you give a bleep. And then you hit a point where you come full circle.
I'm too old for this.
Yeah. My grandpa was a famous example of I don't give a bleep, both with what he said and, all that good stuff. But here is what I think of proof that Mr. Russo is getting to the point that he just doesn't give a bleep.
Here's what I'm doing this weekend.
Listen to what
The
he's doing
missus
this
is away.
Bad dog.
By visiting my son in Flagstaff, who's coaching Northern Arizona. I took his basketball. So the missus is away. Be lousy weather, right?
It's gonna be lousy in AZ.
No, it's gonna be lousy here.
Here,
rain.
yeah.
So I can't get my golf or tennis in. My little tennis shirt.
Yeah.
So I am going to. I'll get a run in. I'll take the two dogs, Bo and Riley, for a walk. At about 12 o'clock, sit down. Make an early cocktail. Cut a gummy in half.
A gummy.
Gummy and a half.
Cut a gummy in half. Keep listening. Cut a gummy in half. We got Florida State Clemson. I like the Florida State quarterback. I'll do something there. At about 3:25, when I'm sauced, I'm not driving in the house, 3:25, I'll put the call in to Fat Rob, 718-504. I'll put the call in to Fat Rob. Rob, you know what? What the hell? I can't root for Oregon. All right, I'll pretend on TV. Put 10 dimes on Colorado. It's probably Colorado and Dion. Let's win the game. So by 3:25, I'll be sitting down with my shorts, little T-shirt, cocktail. I'll have the other half a gummy.
Oh, you save it for later?
I'll have half.
I thought you were just rationing it.
You gonna swing and take every while you doing that? I tell you, marijuana's come a long way, Chris. I mean, it was one of those very faux pas things that nobody really wanted to talk about and dance around to the point where we're getting a middle-aged elderly guy that I thought normally conservative, openly talking about gummies. Now maybe it's just what's the difference? THC is the one that has effects on you. CBD. That's for like your muscles and your pain
I
or
still
whatever.
feel uncomfortable talking about this.
Yeah, I know.
Like
I'm just saying.
In the building,
this is on ESPN,
I'm not trying to
though.
get caught up on nothing.
This is on ESPN, on national television. Anyways, and then he says, by the way, this is all by, I marked it. This is all by 3:25 p.m. He has half a gummy, early cocktail. He calls Fat Rob. He puts 10 dimes, which, by the way, is $10,000.
That's what I was assuming, but I
the
didn't
game.
want to assume.
And then he's in his shorts all by 3:25. And then he has the second part of his gummy.
That sounds great.
That's the I don't give a bleep age. I'm telling you, he would have not have done that in his 30s
He
and
definitely
40s.
wouldn't have said it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that sounds like a day right there already. But
And
you're not going to catch me talking about my day like that.
Speaking of the gummy, that might explain why he cannot get this wide receiver from the Saints name right.
DeAndre Hopkins had 7 catches for Tennessee. Henry had 63 yards on the ground. Olive had a huge day for the Saints. 8 catches for 112.
He said Olive?
Yeah, but there's a better one where he gets caught up on it like 3 times. But yeah,
Olive.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. Maybe like I've grown up my entire life really caring about sports, but that is one of my big what's the it bothers me a lot is just when
pet peeve.
Yes, pet peeve. Thank you. As I'm about to say, when people don't get people's names right, or when people forget really obvious words. I don't know why. It just really, really bothers me.
Yeah, I teased that story yesterday. Actually, I never got to it. When I was doing updates at another station.
Yeah.
Greg Papa, there was breaking news. I believe it was Aqib Talib went to Denver. And I was like looking up the name. He was making fun of me because I was playing it on YouTube just to make sure that I said it right.
Yeah.
So anyways, he said it like 85 different ways. And
Aqib Talib, like it was a Moody Mo moment, like a Kendrick Perkins saying Moses Moody.
Pretty much, yeah. So he kept saying like
Talib.
Yeah, that's what I said. So he said it a million different ways just to razzle me. I was young, and I didn't record my updates. I did them live. Ended up saying Aqib Talib. And then, of course, they cut it up and played it for like the rest of the show.
Of course. Yeah. I mean,
You got to check that out. I remember Giannis Antetokounmpo.
That
was a tough one for a lot of people.
For sure. Even still, people really struggle with Giannis.
Which makes his nickname great. The alphabet.
Alphabet, yeah.
Every letter's in his name.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. I found this to be interesting. There's a big feud going on. I'm not sure if you're aware, Chris, but Stephen A. Smith and Shohei Ohtani. This is him. Yeah.
That's the most unlikely beef, I think, in history.
He said he's not
I do remember
worth the
that.
money,
Yeah,
and now he's blaming him for attendance.
I hope that it would make the Angels and everybody else come to their damn senses. I don't want to hear any discussions anymore about him getting $500 million. I don't want to hear it. Okay? The fact is that you can't pitch until 2025. All right? Secondly, you're gonna be compromised in terms of what you're able to do in the field. Number 3, damn it, the Angels don't win. When you look at the Dodgers, when you look at the Braves, when you look at various other teams, ain't got nobody on there making $500 million. There's a bunch of empty seats that I see when Shohei Ohtani's pitching, let alone hitting. The Angels come to town.
That's Shohei's.
You're not feeling anything. You're not winning. I'm not giving up that kind of money to him. No, you don't need it. Baseball is showing you. And then when you take into account the new rules.
Yeah, I mean, they might not be winning and the attendance might not be a ton, but that's not on Shohei.
That's not on Shohei at all.
Well, part of that's LA. I mean, sometimes it's not even great attendance for Dodgers game, but I mean, part of it's because it's LA and where they're located. And also, yeah, they're not winning, but it's not because of his lack of productivity.
Right.
So, yeah, I found that to be.
And he's on the Clippers pretty much. He's on the second fiddle team already where it's like they're not going to have the amount of pull as the Dodgers. I wouldn't ever listen to Stephen A. Smith for baseball takes, but that's top tier trash right there.
For sure. All right. Well, take yourself to Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. And coming up at the top of the hour, something Daniel Jones did that no quarterback has ever done, and much more. Getting you ready for Thursday Night Football. Niners and Giants. We'll do that next. You're listening to Zakariah, Chris Watkins, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Ron had a tax problem he just couldn't handle on his own.
I owed the IRS taxes for over 5 years, but I didn't have any money to pay the taxes.
Those years cost him dearly.
Most of it was fees and interest. It was horrible.
Ron finally called in the pros.
I called Optima Tax Relief, and boy, am I happy I did.
The leading tax resolution firm, Optima, is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. They've resolved over $1 billion for their clients. Ron was overjoyed.
They settled my account with the IRS. I was ecstatic. They are a lifesaver. They are. I am so happy.
Take Ron's advice and call Optima now for a free consultation.
Yeah, don't do like I did and wait. Call Optima Tax Relief. Do it now. You'll be ecstatic like me.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Model Year End pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the Model Year End event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
When I want to stretch out after a long day, my sofa needs to be comfortable, but it also needs to look attractive and inviting when guests come to visit. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. We spend so much time on our living room sofas that we forget they're a focal point and a hint to our decorating tastes. Right now, during Naturewood Home Furnishings sofa sale, you can save on every sofa, including gallery-exclusive custom-ordered flex steel furniture. Whether you're interested in a new sofa, sectional, or recliner, you can choose from hundreds of colors and fabrics. Nobody has more styles and choices than Naturewood Home Furnishings. And when it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop Naturewood for the look you love at a price you'll love even more. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable sofa sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento this Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you've ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's this Saturday only, September 23rd. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. At your desk, on your phone,
in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Wishing, they wishing, they wishing, they wishing, they wishing on me. It's like the only new music I know outside of like the 90s and the 2000s is Drake. And even him I fell off on.
It's not a bad person to follow.
Yeah.
But
he's a hit maker, as they say.
That's all he does, man. It's all he does.
Welcome back, Sacramento, to the 1 p.m. portion of your day. It is Sactown Sports 1140 alongside Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah. Coming up at 1:15. Talk a little bit more basketball. Warriors trying to what? Trying to, match the Kings move of getting JaVale McGee.
Yeah. They
brought in a big guy and also a former Sacramento Kings guard.
Disgruntled.
Disgruntled. Kind of joining the pack of guys that are trying to get themselves out of their situation. So we'll do some NBA talk coming up at 1:15. But right now, are you ready for some football? Oh, we never did that on Monday. They have a new, or on Tuesday. They have a new
anthem.
Yeah. I Can Feel It in the Air.
Yeah.
Or I Can Feel It Calling. Or,
in the air tonight, I believe.
In the air tonight. That's I combined the anyways. But it's not Monday Night Football. It is Thursday Night Football down at Levi's. Our boss is already out of the building, so we can kind of just mail in this hour if you want. That was your suggestion when we found out.
Hey man, that's what everybody else does at other jobs. So.
Yeah, so he's on his way down to the South Bay to go catch the Niners and the Giants. A lot of people, and we will hear from the people in New York. This isn't even, Northern California
no homer
people.
Bias.
This is the people that cover the Giants, the ones that they are near and dear to their heart.
The experts.
We'll hear some of their predictions, but something that Daniel Jones did, Chris, that no other quarterback has done in the history of the NFL.
Okay.
In the second half of that game, again, they were outscored a total of 60-0 through 6 quarters.
Tough.
So at halftime, they were down 20-0. In the second half, however, he threw for 250-plus yards.
Mm-hmm.
He rushed for 50-plus yards, threw multiple TD passes, rushed for a TD, and had no turnovers. And he's the only quarterback to ever do that. And to me, that's not terribly obscure. Basically, threw for 250 yards and a half. Tons of QBs have done that. Rushed for 50 yards in the second half. Tons of QBs have done that. Threw multiple TD passes in the second half. Tons of quarterbacks have done that. Rushed for a TD in a half. Tons of quarterbacks have done that. And didn't have any turnovers in the half. Tons of quarterbacks have done that. But I guess he's the only one to put all 5 of those together. Or are you surprised by that? Because to me, it doesn't seem that obscure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely pretty surprised by it. The fact that
Mike Vick, Donovan McNabb.
I'm more surprised that it's Daniel Jones as the person who has now done that, which kind of in a weird way almost like devalues that. It's an incredibly impressive stat, but just the fact that it's like when you look at the next person who does it, it's going to be the only other player to do it was Daniel Jones. And it's like, well, that
company.
That makes it seem a little bit less impressive when you use it like that. But I mean, it's absolutely like that's a crazy second half to have. And, you know, it's a lot of that was because they were playing, again, the Cardinals who project to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, but it's a big bounce back. I mean, yeah, you mentioned the fact that they were held scoreless the first 6 quarters of their season. For that to be how they respond coming out of that second half and, you know, getting the second half speech and, you know, coming out and not giving up on the season, because at that point, you know, when you're 0-1 after being blown out by 40, you're losing to the Cardinals down 20 at half. You have all the reason in the world to pretty much give up, not just on that game, but at that point, you're looking at the season and you're thinking long-term, man, we just might not have it this year. So for him to really lead them in that, like, that's big for gaining confidence, not only for this team, but in Daniel Jones himself, a guy who's been criticized and questioned for a majority of his career. Really, last year was the first year that people started to have a positive spin about him. So for him to put together that performance in week 2, it's a positive step in the right direction. Baby steps, man. Right? That's the mantra of today's episode.
100%. And I promise peppering throughout the show little hopes, little bits of hopes,
little nuggets,
things to grasp onto for hope if you're a Giants fan or if you're just rooting for a good game. And that'll be my final one, is that they're going to ride the momentum. Like I said, none of them went back home to their families and significant others and kids and all that stuff. They all stuck together on this West road trip, and they're going to ride the momentum of the second half. And Daniel Jones is going to add to his performance, even despite the fact that Barkley's out. So that'll be my last ditch effort at, and then I'm going to give you a bunch of guys who do not feel that way. But I just, again, I don't know how much. I mean, yeah, you're right. It diminishes the stat a little bit, but also it kind of makes me surprised that none of the guys that can both get it done through the air and on the ground. Because, like I said, that wasn't one of those was wearing lime green underwear and like the temperature was exactly
it's a lot
60.
Of stats still, but
it's 5, but like basic ones: 200 yards, 50 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers.
It probably requires you to be down though if you're going to be a quarterback to put up those numbers. And
it is 5, and it is 5 of them. And you have to check all of them because one turnover takes you out if you have, So I guess it's not that shocking, but I didn't think it was that obscure of a stat. But would you like to hear from people that cover the Giants in New York?
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Their outlooks on tonight's game.
Try and give us some spin, please.
Niners fans, try not to be too confident tonight. I mean, enjoy the game, but remember, you got to take everybody seriously. But according to these guys, you don't need to pay attention too much. Again, this might be a spot where I show my significant other how much I love them and that I will do something with them, whatever they want to do, instead of watching this game, because I think it's going to be one of the laughers for the Niners.
I think if you're a Niner fan, you should take advantage of today. And then on Sunday, since your team doesn't play, that's when you can do the honey-do list where it's like, my team doesn't play today. So today, take advantage of this Sunday because this is the only one. Well, the Niners are going to have a couple more where they're not playing on Sunday, but this is really the one where it's like early in the year, she's like, I thought football was on. It's like, hey, don't worry about it. Okay. Football's not more important than what we got going on. Okay. Come on.
But if she's savvy, she'll know that the Niners played Thursday. So you're giving her Sunday, well,
disconnect her internet.
We should have a 22-hour tease counter. Cause I'll give another one. We're going to talk college football tomorrow. And I heard a lot of college football broadcasters saying the same thing about last weekend because the slate was awful. The slate is fantastic on Saturday.
It's ridiculous.
We'll get into that tomorrow. But Rebecca Board says, while the Giants narrowly escaped with a victory against Arizona, a repeat performance in San Francisco will likely lead to another blowout loss. A defense that allowed Joshua Dobbs and James Conner to walk all over them is ill-prepared to face Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, maybe, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle. Meanwhile, the Giants' offensive line is still patchwork, and Daniel Jones has been shaky to start the season despite a strong comeback effort on Sunday. until the Giants prove otherwise, they are not ready to compete with the big boys of the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, they proved that week 1, and it wouldn't be surprising to me if this is just kind of very similar vibes as what the Giants went through week 1 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, and again.
So now read me somebody from New York, because that clearly wasn't someone from New York.
That was from somebody from New York. Another one, Tony Del Genio. I won't be shocked if the Giants offense has some success, although Bosa and Hargrave may make this look a lot like the Dallas game. They keep bringing up the Dallas game. That must have really stuck with them.
hurt them.
Real misgiving is the Giants defense. The run D has been awful. The linebacker play has once again been subpar.
Okay.
And the pass rush has been non-existent.
That sounds like a bad recipe.
Not a defensive coordinator, Chris, but the run D and the linebacker play and the pass rush all not being good can't be.
No, probably not great.
And
well,
then,
at least the 49ers aren't good on offense, right? Oh, wait. Forgot about that.
Yeah, and then we'll just do finally here, Jeremy Portnoy. Nope.
Ugh.
First word is just nope, period. Just nope. One word sentence. Nope. Just not a chance that New York wins this game. The Giants' run defense will have few answers for the Niners, who have averaged 173 yards rushing in their first 2 games. And NFL teams seem more ready for New York's short passing game concepts this year, so expect Kyle Shanahan to already have a plan in place to stop them. The Giants will lose by 2 touchdowns or more. Or more. Yeah, so they all picked the Niners, and we've mentioned ad nauseum what they're going to be without, but most notably star running back Saquon Barkley, second team all-pro left tackle Andrew Thomas, left guard Ben Bredeson, and edge defender Aziz Oyulari ruled out with injuries.
Love it.
So
it's
and Ayuk might be. I mean, this might be a spot where if Ayuk's
why even play him?
him?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. If even New York media doesn't seem to seem like their team has a chance, I don't think the 49ers necessarily need Ayuk tonight. So I would give him the rest and then give him the extra. It's 10 more days until the Niners' next game. Give him that good rest, and the important thing is that again he's ready for that matchup in Week 5 against Dallas, so you can get a good look on how you match up with those guys. But it's not great. And if you're a Giants fan, again, if we're doing silver linings or maybe possibilities of how you might win this game, it's the fact that nobody seems to think that you have a chance. And so, if you go in with the lowest of expectations, sometimes that could be good because you can do nothing but impress yourself. So, with it seeming like all Giants hopes are at rock bottom, all they can really do is either prove those people right or actually surprise some people by keeping themselves in the game. I think to me, that should be considered a win for the Giants. If you're in this game at any point, if it's mid third quarter and you Niners are punting and you have a chance to maybe make it a 1-score game or maybe even tie it, to me, that's about as much as you can hope for if you're a Giants fan. It's just staying in it.
For sure. And again, I'm sure they watched a ton of tape of week 2 Rams and Niners.
Yeah,
and if they're smart, they will figure out what exactly McVay did for the Rams to score 17 points on their first 3 possessions.
Yep.
This just popped into my head. I'm going to answer first and say no.
Okay.
Because it doesn't seem like the type of thing the Niners would do. And I can't really think of a precedent for it before. But is it possible if Ayuk, like most players, are going to want to be out there, and if it's not the kind of injury where he could re-aggravate it, and he prepares as if he's ready to go, is it possible that he suits up and he's available should the Niners feel like they need to put him out there? Like almost on a need to, they say a need to know basis, a need to play basis, or do you think he's either out or in?
I think he's either out or in. Like maybe if it were someone, maybe if, they had less weapons and it was kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, if we're down, we don't really have anyone else to turn to. But, if the Niners are down and find themselves in need of extra weapons besides the ones they have, then something has gone terribly wrong because they should have enough firepower, even if Ayuk's out. A guy like Juwan Jennings should be more than capable of stepping up. And, it's a next man up kind of business. And you would expect that, throughout the season, you're going to go through injuries and you need guys to step up at different points in the year. And, this is exactly why you have that kind of depth at receivers, because, you're not everyone's going to have 17 games and play a perfect season. So, at some point you got to let your guys rest if they're hurt. So I think it's either all in or all out.
And I've liked what I've seen in the limited opportunities that Jennings got. So this is an opportunity for him to step up. One of my favorite guys post game. I don't know why. He just has, some people just have faces that make you smile.
Yeah.
He's just like every time he doesn't even have to do anything.
Yeah.
I just like his face. I actually have a buddy that I call Great Face Dave.
Yeah.
Because when he walks in the room, I'm just happier than I was before. He does that for me. So maybe he steps up. And then, we talked about one of the small chances they have of making this a game is if they make it a shootout. Niners ranked third in scoring defense, largely in part to week 1 beatdown of Pittsburgh, where they only surrendered a touchdown.
Yeah.
Rush defense is also tied for third best in yardage allowed. Only 28.6 of their drives for the Niners defense end in points. And they only blitz 20.7% of the time because when your pass rush is that good,
right,
you don't need to send extra guys.
Exactly.
They always talked about that with Brady's Super Bowls, getting pressure with 4.
I have I guess breaking, not
dun,
it is
dun,
breaking
dun,
news,
dun.
but
what do you got?
For the 49ers perspective, this is definitely big news for them. From the Cowboys front, this is from Adam Schefter here, just adding to the list of injuries in this league right now. Cowboys believe Trayvon Diggs has suffered a torn ACL during practice today. He will now undergo an MRI to confirm the injury.
Ouch.
But a lot of people are saying that it is in fact torn, and he will more than likely be out for the entirety of the season.
Ouch.
So Trayvon Diggs, the Cowboys' number 1 cornerback, they did acquire Stephon Gilmore this offseason, but Trayvon Diggs was their big playmaker.
Wow.
And he is potentially out for the season.
That
for the Dallas
is
Cowboys.
major.
Yeah.
That is major. Takes a little of the luster out for when the Cowboys
Definitely.
travel to Levi's.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a big blow for them. And, their defense is maybe the best in the NFL, the most scary in the NFL. And that definitely takes a bit of the bite out of their defense for sure. I mean, they still got the big man, Micah Parsons back there, but
that's huge.
They're definitely going to be feeling the ramifications of that one throughout the season.
That's big. All right. Coming up next, the Warriors, as if the Kings didn't have enough disdain for them after that 7-game series defeat last year in the playoffs. They're just trying to, match anything the Kings do. They say, oh, okay, you got McGee. Well, we're going to get this guy, plus former Sacramento Kings guard Buddy Hield. Not so happy where he's at. We'll tackle that. Talk some NBA coming up next. You're listening to Zakariah and Watkins right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Who do they decide on for the Super Bowl?
What do you mean, halftime act?
Yeah. I know that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, turned them down, right?
At what point do people turn on Taylor Swift to be like, why don't you lower your prices? And I understand the whole Ticketmaster thing, but what about the merch? Like, legit, do you have to make $1 billion? Could you make 500 million? Could you?
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Oh, he's back.
Who's back?
The clown.
The naked one?
Yes, Giggles. He just drove on the lot in a new Kia.
Does he want to trade it in?
No, he wants to show it off.
Isn't he showing off enough? Oh, here he comes.
See what Elk Grove Kia did for me? That's service. That's why they got my business, not you.
Yeah, I think we've already seen too much of your business. Thank you.
Elk Grove Kia. Great service for everyone.
Elk Grove Kia has never made it easier for you to show it off. Don't worry about credit. No credit, bad credit, charge-offs, repos. Don't worry. Our team has over 100 years of experience. Others say no. Elk Grove Kia says yes. Get your next Kia today at Elk Grove Kia in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or elkgrovekia.com and show it off today.
Elk Grove Kia.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Years are piling up, Chris. Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Chris Watkins and Zakariah here on Sactown Sports 1140. Coming up, bottom of the hour. We didn't quite get through all the 0-2 teams and their panic meter, so we'll finish that up and then get to the confidence meter. Or maybe we're going to spend so much time on the 0-2 teams that we'll have to save the confidence meter for tomorrow. That might be another tally it think I'm up to 4 or 5 22-hour teases.
4 or 5, yeah.
So we'll all find out together.
Yes.
We'll do that at the bottom of the hour before we check in with Whitey and FP Santangelo Jr. But right now, as we just got the breaking news, give it to them one more time, Chris, in case they're just getting in their car. Boom, 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 to the news desk and Christopher Watkins.
Yes.
What do you got?
And this has pretty much already been confirmed at this point.
Really?
Yes. So Trayvon Diggs, they already had the MRI and everything. There was concern that he tore his ACL today in practice, and it is now confirmed that Trayvon Diggs will miss the entirety of this season with a torn ACL. He had just signed a 5-year, $97 million contract extension this past offseason. And the Cowboys are going to be without their biggest playmaker at the cornerback position. And that's just a massive, massive loss for the Cowboys, who, again, they still do have Stephon Gilmore, who's a little bit long in the tooth, but still can provide some good cornerback play. But just not what the Cowboys fans are wanting to see, especially after the start that they've had to this season. Just a really, really tough loss for them.
And I'm sure all of our listeners, should they be Niners fans, are classy fans.
I'm sure.
And never root for injury.
Never.
However,
you got to acknowledge it's pretty good for the Niners.
However, the path to the Super Bowl
it
just got a little easier.
It just opened up a little bit. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely it's that big of a blow for the Cowboys, where it is like that's something where, you turn a strength into, I wouldn't say a weakness, but definitely an exploitable part of their team for sure.
Yeah, and we were joined by Lincoln Kennedy earlier in the program. You can check out that interview if you just go to SactownSports.com or check us out on YouTube, search Sactown Sports. But he called the Niners the class of the NFL, certainly the NFC. And, with the Eagles losing some pieces, one of those big pieces going to the Niners directly, and then the Cowboys looking like have been world beaters through the first 2 weeks, beating up on the 2 New York teams. That's a big blow for them.
Yeah.
So that'll be important. And Lincoln Kennedy came to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. So let's talk some round ball, shall we?
Yes.
Let's talk some NBA. The Kings made some noise, gave us a little splash here as we're getting ready for the NBA season, kind of shoring up with some championship pedigree. The once known knucklehead, shacked in a fool star on Thursday, NBA on TNT. The Kings signed him to shore up their front court, specifically center position, the backup center position.
Yep.
And the Warriors probably took notice of this, or maybe
so.
not. Dwight Howard has not been shy in terms of him clamoring to get to any NBA team. He's been playing overseas.
Tried to make a pitch to come here to Sacramento, as a matter of fact.
Interesting.
He's been letting his interest be very well known.
But is it officially that he's found a team?
No.
Or is it rumored to be?
It is not official yet. Jason Dumas has put out on Twitter yesterday that Dwight Howard yesterday wrapped up a 2-day interview process with the Warriors, and a decision could come as soon as today. The vets have signed off on the idea of bringing Dwight into the fold. I'm assuming the vets being Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green. It now says that Dwight will now head to LA to work out with Chris Paul and Draymond Green today. So that seems like pretty significant headwind behind Dwight Howard possibly. At this point, I'd say probably signing with the Golden State Warriors.
Interesting. And do you make a big deal, no deal, little deal, small deal, medium deal? What do you make of that move?
It's a medium deal. Like, I think Dwight clearly is not the Dwight Howard that he was, in those Orlando days and or even in his Houston Rocket days. But even when he was on the Lakers for the bubble, he was okay. He was a really serviceable backup big. And if he's willing to play that role, he's obviously going to be behind Kevon Looney, but he provides a lot of similar things that Looney does right now. I mean, he's a really big, wide-shouldered guy who can definitely still fight in the glass for some rebounds. He's still got some hop in his step, if you will, and he can still protect the rim to an extent. Definitely, again, not the Dwight Howard of old, but he can still get up there. And I think for a Warriors team that has proven with guys like JaVale McGee that they're able to get guys to truly buy into their role, I think it's actually a really good signing for Golden State. And, it's not going to be something that's going to sway a playoff series, but it's definitely somebody that I think can be a good contributor for them throughout the year. And I don't know if he plays in the playoff series, but I definitely could see them getting some use out of Dwight throughout this season.
Yeah, just looking at their depth chart now and the center position, Draymond sort of more of like a power forward. Yeah,
I mean, they play him in that quote-unquote death lineup, if you still want to call it that.
Kevon Looney, who I don't really see as like the monster that he was against the Kings. I don't know that. I mean, look, he's great. He positions himself fantastically. He's physical, but he doesn't strike you as like this overbearing physical specimen.
Yeah.
And then Dario Saric is one of the softest big men that you'll find. And in terms of Kuminga, he's way more of a guy that plays facing the basket than back to it. And, Dwight Howard strikes me as a guy that can always get you, handful of blocks, close to double-digit rebounds, depending on how many minutes he gets. He seems like a guy who's always in shape, always chiseled. Again, like you said, not nearly what he was in his prime with Orlando. But when you compare that and contrast that to our very own home of the Kings, Sactown Sports 1140, when you compare that to the JaVale McGee signing, is Howard a guy that you would have rather had? Do you see them? I mean, they're both obviously centers, but not necessarily the same exact skill set. How do you compare and contrast that to the JaVale signing?
Yeah, I mean, I think JaVale is better for the Kings just because he provides some legitimate size if they do ever go to him. Like Dwight is frankly an undersized center. He's listed at 6'10", 6'11", but Dwight's definitely leaning more towards 6'9", 6'8". Like he's more of a physical presence than actually height-wise, a size presence. And I think that's what JaVale is going to bring to the Kings that they just haven't had is, they tried it in Alex Len and it didn't work out in the long run. But I really like JaVale's just overall height that he can give the Kings on top of his athleticism. He's really just a stretched out version of Dwight Howard. And I think at both of their advanced age, I believe they're both 36 now, which is just crazy. I think that JaVale's height is going to give him a little bit better of an advantage at this point in his career, where Dwight, again, is a little bit more glued to the ground than he was previously. Can definitely still get up there. I mentioned that 2020 season with the Lakers. He averaged, actually not looking too good, 0.6 blocks per game that last season in LA. And then even the season before that where he played in Philly, 0.9 blocks. So it's been a while since he was a block per game guy, but we'll see how much hop he still has in his step.
All right, and then before we go to break, there is some news coming from former Sacramento Kings guard Buddy Hield. Tell the people a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so Buddy Hield is shocking. Stop me if you've heard this before. Buddy Hield is not happy with his contract situation and is asking out. This time, of course, in Indiana. He has apparently been working with the Indiana brass to try and get him moved. We know Buddy has had an infatuation with going over to the Lakers. That move has almost happened countless times. But according to Shams Charania, after contract negotiations stalled out, Buddy Hield and the Indiana Pacers have started dialogue to work on finding a potential trade for Buddy, who is still one of the best shooters, volume shooters in the NBA, especially from the perimeter. But with his contract being, I believe, near $20 million per year, and I think that's over either this season or the following one. I don't know how many suitors you're really going to find for Buddy Hield. It might be one of those where you have to attach a draft pick or something else valuable in order to get him off.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't hit much on the radar other than, obviously Kings fans very familiar with Buddy Hield, but I can't see either his departure or arrival. I mean, I can see him helping a team.
It depends what team he goes
to. Yeah. I mean, he's certainly not like over the hill. He still has something to offer.
Yeah, he's 28, 29 years old.
Yeah, so it would be interesting to see where he goes because Indy made some moves this offseason that would make you think that they're in that they're in win now mode. All right, coming up next, panic meter for the 9-0-2 teams and the confidence level for the 9-2-0 teams. We will do that coming up next. You're listening to Chris Watkins and Zakariah right here, Sactown Sports 1140.
The 49ers are in primetime this Thursday against the Giants.
Touchdown!
Pre-game coverage starts at 4:15 with kickoff at 5:15.
On Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Now at Staples, the prices of HP printers are dropping. Save on HP Smart Tank and enjoy even more savings on ink. Save on the HP Inkjet, perfect for high-quality pics. Save on HP laser printers, great for tackling high-volume document printing. Now through September 30th, save on Staples' entire selection of HP printers, some as low as $69.99. With HP printer price drops at Staples, now is the time to upgrade to HP, America's most trusted printer brand. See staples.com/HP for details.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It ignites something inside of you.
Lightning and the thunder.
Sets alight an elevated state of being. Days are pure exhilaration. And the nights, they're simply electric. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
It's time now for the Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Well, for the second straight week, the Silver and Black will be playing a team coming off a Monday night game. Last week, it was Buffalo. This week, it's Pittsburgh. And speaking of their longtime rivals, you expect fireworks? Well, maybe not, because the Raiders offense, 30 out of 32. Pittsburgh, 31 out of 32. Either way, each team needs a victory, as both are searching for win number 2 on the season. That is your Silver and Black Report, brought to you by ACR Solar and Home Services. Did you hear about ACR Solar's free home battery special? Well, for a limited time, get a free LG Chem 10H home battery with a minimum purchase of 12 solar panels. Now, you'll own the system outright with no leasing involved. The offer includes 10-year parts and labor warranty for your added security and peace of mind. Take advantage of a 30% tax credit on your solar panel purchase, as the offer is limited to the first 100 customers only. Visit acrsolar.com to get the offer. The number 916-481-7200.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Jeep Adventure Days?
Right now, save up to $10,500 off MSRP when you lease the all-new 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. And you can even lease the all-new 2024 Sport S Wrangler 4xe for only $459 a month.
Sorry, Chad, I must have misheard you. Did you say 2024 Wrangler 4xe?
You heard that right. The brand new 2024s. And that's not it. If you've been looking at the Jeep Gladiator, you can save up to $12,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiators.
Wow, take advantage of these savings before they're gone at Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. See their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$10,500 total net savings applies to lease only after $8,500 factory rebates and $2,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $7,500 federal tax credit, subject to change without notice. Lease term is 36 months with $49.95 due at signing, plus tax, title, and license on approved credit through Stellantis. 10,000 miles per year limit with 25-cent per mile charge for excess. $12,000 total net savings on select 2023 Gladiators after $62.52 rebates and $53.48 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for current members of eligible First Responders Association. 5 days net savings. See dealer for details.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins
on Sactown Sports.
I like that. I'm just trying to be me. Sitting on top of the world. Welcome back, Sacramento. It is Sactown Sports alongside Chris Watkins. I am Zakariah. Coming up at 1:45, we will check in with the boys. That would be Whitey and FP Santangelo Jr.
FPJ.
See what they got coming on in an abbreviated show, as they will probably most likely do what we have done throughout the show, which is get you ready for Thursday night football. Your San Francisco Niners will be featured against the New York Football Giants. Never really understood that, I guess, because there's not like a football, there's not a New York baseball Giants.
There used to be, right?
Oh, maybe that's why.
Way back?
Yeah.
Am I not mistaken?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah. Way back.
That's true, and it's probably an old saying.
It's way
And
before
I'm probably an idiot for not having put that together. But yes, because I did know that the San Francisco Giants came from New York.
Right.
So yeah, New York Football Giants. Hopefully a fun game tonight. But we will get back to the 0-2 teams and where your panic meter is at. We have gone through. The most recent one was the Chicago Bears. They were all over the news, and what I think we both agreed upon is much ado about nothing.
Yep.
I don't think Fields was purposely trying to call out the coaching. I think he just didn't really think before he spoke. Then the Bengals, who I think we both have a lot of concern for because
Heavy
Burrow
concern.
does not look like Burrow. The Panthers, which I think we both have heavy concern about because I don't think either of us are very confident that Bryce Young will be worthy of that number 1 overall pick. The Cardinals, which we hilariously do not have a panic meter for because we think that they're trying to lose, and especially competitively like they did the first 2 weeks. But that leads us to the Broncos, a very interesting team, Chris, in the sense that they gave up a lot, both money-wise and capital-wise, to bring in Russell Wilson. Just a horrible season last year where Nathaniel Hackett did not look like he could hack it. Get it? I love being corny, Chris.
Oh, boy.
I love being corny. Couldn't hack it as an NFL coach. They bring in Sean Payton, who was feeling his oats. I think he got too used to being a commentator, you know? And so he said some things that normally in the coaching fraternity, you do not see said, specifically about Hackett and how bad of a job he did coaching. But through 2 weeks, they are 0-2. Where is your panic meter level on the Broncos, Chris?
I mean, this is it's not great. The fact that they've lost to 2 really bad teams, like the Raiders and the Commanders are the 2 teams they've lost to, granted, only by a total of 3 total points. But, that's just not how they were envisioning the Sean Payton era starting, and it's not going to get a whole lot easier. It doesn't really get tough. They're playing the Dolphins on the road. That's obviously with how the Dolphins have played. That's going to be a tough one. But then they have the Bears and the Jets after that. So there's still some opportunity for them to turn things around, but it's definitely concerning that they just haven't really had success up to this point against 2 very winnable opponents. So, I'd put the panic meter probably on the, I guess, worst half of 5, probably like a 6 or a 7 right now if you're a Broncos fan. I mean, I think the expectations were for them to have a positive season, maybe a winning record or at least near that. And with how they've played through 2 games, it looks like Russell Wilson would be lucky to make it to the end of the season. So I'm going to have it at a 7 at this moment in time.
I have a complicated answer. Let me tell you why.
Yeah.
I say that because my buddy does it, and it always annoys me. Let me tell you why. It's because my panic meter for Sean Payton is 0.
Okay.
My panic meter for Russell Wilson is high, right around what you said, 6.5, 7, 7.5, something like that. If you look at the numbers, when Sean Payton is scripting the calls, Russell Wilson's numbers are Pro Bowl level. Now, when he starts to have to start doing it on his own and defense starts to make adjustments, they're abysmal. And it's really been a tale of 2 halves for the Broncos throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. So in terms of, let's face it, if one gots to go, even though it's not going to be easy for the Broncos to get from up under that contract,
it's going to be rough.
It's not going to be Sean Payton.
Right.
He's going to be there, and I think it's going to be Wilson that's going to get shown the exit unless he gets better in the second half. But again, I'm not worried about Payton because when it comes to him coaching and where he has the most amount of control, which is the first half and the scripted plays, Russell Wilson's numbers are great. He's got to learn how to make the adjustments after the defense makes the adjustments.
Real quick, more breaking news from Adam Schefter here. This one actually does involve the 49ers. 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, who is listed as questionable for tonight's game due to a shoulder injury, is not expected to play tonight against the Giants per league source. So
I wonder if they were listening to our show.
I'm sure they were. I'm sure we're what really put it over the top. I'm sure they were conflicted, and then they were like, you know what? Chris and Zachariah are right.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to risk him for in a game where we should roll over them even without Ike?
I think John Lynch snuck your name in one of his interviews
Wouldn't
this week.
surprise me.
Something
You know,
like,
me
I was
and
listening
John,
to
me and
Watkins
JL. We're cool like that. I don't know if you know him. Him and our guy back there, JJ. They're close and personal friends. You know, they get to sit next to each other courtside.
I like it. All right. Well, let's move on to the Texans, shall we? I don't have much of it. I know we do radio. We're paid to have opinions. I don't really have an opinion here, because I think that they're going to be dealing with, and I know, look, they drafted C.J. Stroud early, and so they are trying to move on from it's hard for me to separate the whole Deshaun Watson stuff from them until they start to get sort of an identity. Head coach DeMarco Ryans has not shown a ton in terms of being inspirational. I'm not sure if you've caught any of his pregame speeches.
I haven't.
Yeah,
D'Amico's the best, though.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some links. But anyways, I don't really feel like they have a huge identity. They're kind of one of the biggest blah teams for me in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean,
panic meter, I guess, would be like just because again, another team where I don't think they are counting on much. Then the panic meter is not high. But if you were counting on them to be competitive, then it would be.
I think it's a 0 or a 1. I mean, the fact that C.J. Stroud has looked as good as he has and had the big game last week. Yeah, it hasn't resulted in any wins, but I think it's a positive that he looks like the better of the first 2 picks in the draft between him and Bryce Young. It looks like they got the better guy. D'Amico Ryans, he was given a long contract, so I think that they did have a good long view of what they were hoping to plan, like the succession plan or the success plan, I guess I should say. Seems to be one that they understand is going to be a drawn out process. So I think that, if you're a Houston Texans fan, you weren't expecting success this year, and the fact that you have a coach that you believe in and your quarterback looks to be a guy that should be one that you can hold on to for the foreseeable future. I think it's all positive for Houston, and it just sucks they don't have a first round pick this year, because if they don't find success, they're not really going to have anything to show for it. But it's steps in the right direction. Again, baby steps.
Well, if you're doing the old school way of tallying, which is the vertical line, and then the horizontal cross through, this will be the 5th 22-hour tease. We're going to do the last 3 of the 0-2 panic teams tomorrow, along with the 2-0 confidence meter teams. But right now we got to get to the break, and coming up next, we're going to check in with Whitey, see what he has on store as he leads you into our coverage of Thursday Night Football. We'll do that next. Zachariah and Watkins right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Attention, all tool shoppers. Get ready for the biggest DeWalt sale event of the year at Fasteners Inc. Sacramento this Saturday, September 23rd. We're bringing you the best deals on DeWalt products you have ever seen for one day only, including impact drivers for $59, combo kits for as low as $179, and up to $2,000 off your order with instant cashback rewards. Again, that's this Saturday only, September 23rd. Come on down and get better tools for better prices at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet. Find us at 6701 Power Inn Road and learn more at fastenersinc.net.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Model year-end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year-end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at folsomlakehonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at folsomlakehonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
I love being a bartender. I love waiting tables. But at the end of my shift, my feet were killing me. And so I had to pretend like I was having a good time. And really, I couldn't wait to sit down. But it wasn't just my feet. It was also my knees were achy. A lot of neck pain, too. I was in so much pain. I kind of lost hope, really. And then I saw the Good Feet store, and that's when everything changed.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Kristen enjoy their work again without their feet getting in the way.
It was pretty shocking to realize that I'd been in so much pain, and suddenly I'm completely pain-free. Now that I have the Good Feet arch supports, I don't have to pretend to be happy. I'm genuinely happy. So, cheers. My name is Kristen, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Get your retirement savings to play ball with your retirement plan. Call Cap Trust today at 916-924-7527 or log on to captrust.com.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
If I was going to be in a band, I'd be a drummer. Not really a rock guy, but I'd be like the Tommy Lee type. Welcome back, Sacramento. Alongside Chris Watkins, I am Zakariah. This is Sactown Sports 1140. And to my left, if you're watching on YouTube, search Sactown Sports, is Whitey Gleason. Hello, Whitey. Oh, yeah. Oh,
hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
There he is.
How's your time? Are you on time? A drummer, you got to be, your timing has to be impeccable if you're going to be a drummer.
See, I always kind of
bang things.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. That's why I thought I'd be good at it.
Have a good face.
Yeah, you got to
Throw it
be
around.
laying down that beat.
There you go.
I have terrible rhythm, so there is a 0% chance I could be a drummer.
By the way, Whitey, you've been working with Chris for a while now. Is this a thing? Because he's been cleaning for about 45 minutes.
I'm telling you, I don't clean often, but when I do, I just I have to finish the clean. I'm like, oh, I'm already here. Let me.
He's a cat person. You know what cats do.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's what they do.
Speaking of drummers, I think Fall Out Boy has a drummer. And if you like Fall Out Boy and you would like to go to see them at the Golden One Center, be caller number 11 right now. And the number should be up there. I should have it memorized by now. Do you have it memorized?
916-339-1140.
916-339-1140. All right, now maybe I'll have it memorized. But go ahead, caller number 11. You can go see Fall Out Boy. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Fall Out Boy at Golden One Center. And it's not until March 3rd, 2024, so no excuses in terms of planning. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Whitey, what do we have on deck? I've been spending all 4 hours trying to come up with different ways where this could be a competitive game, but everybody pretty much is predicting a Niners blowout. What say you?
Yeah, we're going to look at how you would try to approach this if you're the New York Football Giants. And, the 49ers tonight facing a ghost of Levi's past. Saquon Barkley out, he's toting the rock.
I know. Revenge game. That was one of my reasons.
It
could be a revenge game for Breida.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know the 49ers have had a different leading rusher every year since 2017?
Really?
Yeah.
Who was
every
it?
season.
Was it McCaffrey last year?
McCaffrey last year. And it's probably be him again this year. Yeah.
Was it Frank Gore?
No, he was earlier. He was 15 years in a row, whatever.
Yeah.
But you had Carlos Hyde.
The coach.
Carlos Hyde.
Breida. You had Elijah Mitchell was one of those.
Probably
years.
Mostert. Probably
Mostert,
both of the Miami backs.
And Jeff Wilson.
Literally both of them.
Miami backs.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Great.
Yeah, I think that streak will end.
I hope so.
CNC.
I think so. Yeah, something's
no.
terribly wrong. Did
you see Shanahan coming out saying that he needs to have more of a balance there between Elijah and him?
Yeah, my prediction for tonight is the 49ers get way ahead, and then the second half, they just run the ball to maintain the lead, and it's going to be Elijah Mitchell going to have some decent running numbers in the second half. Boom,
Maybe
there
some
you go.
Ty Davis Price tonight?
Maybe.
Even? Oh, my goodness.
Baby.
Oh, well, we were talking about your guy, Money Moody, earlier. He's
the only problem
still
I have
hasn't
is
missed
who's
a
more
kick.
my guy, Money Moody or Davion Mitchell? And
it's tough. I would say Money Moody, but
Right now
it
it
is
is Money Moody
in
'cause it's football
season, so it's exactly. It's like we'll see how much it ramps up once the King season comes along. But that's really been like one of the biggest surprises so far. I mean, we were talking a lot about Money Moody heading into the season and then preseason. It was shaky to say the least, and it's just been calmly drilling kicks right down the middle. Not even without question.
We need, coach, 57 yards. You got it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
doesn't matter. And he missed a pretty bad kick in the preseason in Levi's. Do you have any concern that maybe first game back in Levi's in a while?
The only thing would be, he did slip last week, and it's a different field. But they didn't they redo the sod because of Taylor Swift?
Or somebody. I think it was Ed Sheeran. Somebody. They redid the sod because of somebody.
Ed Swift, I think it was.
Ed Swift. Yeah. Big fan of theirs too.
I would love to not have to talk about the field ever again under any circumstances.
It's been a really big talking point.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware. We spoke with Lincoln Kennedy earlier, and I asked him about the difference between the stick and Levi's. I kind of didn't see as big of a drop off in terms of home field advantage as I feel like I normally see when teams go from one to the other, kind of like the Warriors going from Roracle to the Chase Center. What is your experience between the two stadiums?
I think it's been really interesting the way initially we talked about yesterday, Gary Sharp and I, when the 49ers first moved in to Levi's, Harbaugh was still the coach. Things were starting to go the wrong way.
Right.
And then the next few years, it was bludgeon, Tom Sula, Chip Kelly, and the team wasn't very good. And that place was just kind of, there wasn't, it doesn't have a lot of character and there wasn't a lot going on. And then 2019, when the 49ers ended up going to the Super Bowl, fans got behind the team because it was so much fun to watch. And the whole thing was, the game day experience at Levi's was transformed.
That's kind of what we were saying. Winning helps.
Absolutely.
Anything
and having an
seems
interesting
like
product. No question.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping for a close game, even, when it's my squad. I guess it's more comfortable. You're more at ease with a blowout, but blowouts, because I remember week one, I swear to God, I maybe watched, I watched all of it, but I watched the condensed version with no commercials because you can watch a game in a half an hour. Mm-hmm. But in terms of that game being relevant, I was at a sports bar, so all the games were on. That game was over, it seemed like, instantly in Pittsburgh.
But did you guys feel like, even though it was close last Sunday, that the game was ever really in jeopardy?
No.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
No.
Even though it was tied, it's like, this could get interesting, even though it's tied, but it's not yet.
Yeah.
No, I feel like Zakariah's been trying to throw things all day.
Doing my best, Whitey.
Why there's a chance I just don't see any chance that the Giants have to keep up. From the Giants offensive side, it's like I can't see them keeping up with the 49ers, and on the defensive side, I don't see any world in which the Giants slow down the Niners when they struggled to slow down the Cardinals, and then a team to the caliber of the 49ers and the Cowboys week one completely blew the doors off them 40-0. So it's like, I don't realistically see how you can come into this game feeling positively about the Giants even having a shot tonight.
It just makes me laugh to hear Kyle Shanahan talk about Daniel Jones. And I know coaches have to do that.
Yeah, they got to praise him.
Bill Walsh was the best at that. But the way he's talking about, the way he runs the ball and just, making it sound like they're up against Michael Vick.
It might as well be.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my tidbits was, because oftentimes Thursday night games are ugly. The Giants definitely aren't going to win a slugfest. So they're going to have a shootout. And, one of my tidbits was the Giants or the Niners are in the bottom 10 in terms of pass defense. So I tried to throw that out there. And then I gave a crazy stat, Whitey. I should have left my computer open so I could read it to you, but something that no other NFL quarterback had ever done. It was something like 250, 50 on the ground, multiple touchdowns, no interceptions, and
a rushing touchdown.
Nobody had ever done that in a half.
And Daniel Jones did that?
Yeah.
It is all over.
Yeah, exactly. It's over. He's riding that momentum right into Levi.
Did you guys see, I'm sure you did see, Brock Purdy's cleats are in the Hall of Fame already?
What?
Yes.
Did not see
that. From what?
Because he was the first guy to go 6 games.
Multiple touchdowns, right?
2 touchdown passes and winning his first 6 regular season games. His cleats are in.
So they gave the cleats of that 6th game?
I'm not sure which cleats they are. Hopefully he
he's
not looking for them tonight.
Cleats, kid. Go ahead.
Where's my shoes, Mom?
Did that streak snap, or did he throw 2 last week?
Did not throw 2 last week.
Okay, so it's over.
Last week.
It's over. Yeah, that's right.
Well, that one to Debo, I guess it was a lateral. I thought it was a forward pass.
Yeah. I don't remember that one. Okay. Yeah, it was. He's got a lot not to prove this week, but definitely after what he was doing last week, throwing the ball all around. you'd like to see him definitely not miss anybody this week.
Not everybody's Jared Goff. Come on.
Big deal.
Maybe his arm's too good now.
Big deal, little deal, or no deal at all. Dwight Howard meeting. Actually, meetings are over now. He's going to L.A. to work out with Chris Paul, but Dwight Howard to the Warriors. Superman.
Little deal because it's kind of laughable because I remember years ago, Joe Lacob would do anything to get Dwight Howard. Now they're getting him. Well, be careful what you wish for.
What was that deal that was constantly in the news?
Yeah, they really wanted him.
Who were they going to deal? It was Klay Thompson.
Well, there was a free agent. I think they were looking at free agent signings. They've been after him.
But Klay was. Yeah, Klay was. Oh God, that was in the headlines like every week. It was Klay Thompson, and none of the Warriors fans wanted to get rid of. Or actually, I shouldn't say none of them.
They were going to trade Klay for Dwight Howard.
This was before Klay was Klay. How many years back are we going? I mean, Klay was Klay, but not as Clayish as
I
remember that. That was a big argument.
Yeah, that's when it looked like the Warriors really were. That's when their fascination with Dwight Howard started.
Yeah. I mean, it just, I don't know. I mean, we talked about it when Dwight was rumored here, and I used those.
And who started the rumor? He did.
He did, exactly. He started those rumors, and even then, it was like, okay, like hopefully he hasn't played in the NBA in 2 or 3 years. It's like hopefully he can be that guy, but it's like, even then, it's I don't know. I don't see him making a huge impact. I think it'll be a nice guy to throw out there, for.
I think it's a really good move for the Kings.
It really is.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think the Kings should be any more afraid of Dwight Howard than or the Warriors than they were previously.
Real quickly, any coincidence because of the signing for the Kings bringing in McGee that they signed Howard as a kind of a counter move to that?
No, I don't.
No, nothing. Think so. All right. Well, stay tuned. Coming up next from 2 to
4:15.
4:15.
Pregame. Take you up to pregame.
It'll be Whitey and FP Santangelo for Double J Johnson. And for my partner here, Chris Watkins, I am Zakariah. Follow me on Twitter, won't you? I'm thirsty at Zach Sports, ZAK Sports. He's at Chris M. Watkins. We will see you tomorrow. Same good time, same good channel, 10 to 2. Until then, be well. You've been listening to Zakariah and Chris Watkins right here, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Has Monty put together a roster that can help make a deep playoff run this season?
Just trying to